now, like SNAP, the food bank program. Allison Keyes reports.
Kelly Turner in Dothan, Alabama says rising food prices have already changed her life.
Yeah, a lot of meats are off the table for me.
And this man outside of the Wiregrass area food bank there says no one with money is being affected.
We're just hurting the one that trying to make it from one paycheck to another one.
Julie Gonzalez at the food bank says people buying for themselves should
maybe consider buying it for the food bank and donating it to a food drive.
Allison Keyes, CBS News.
The Trump administration has agreed to deliver more student loan forgiveness, as Michael Wallace reports.
Months after the American Federation of Teachers sued the Department of Education, claiming it illegally blocked or delayed certain loan forgiveness plans, the two sides have reached an agreement. The administration will forgive student loans for borrowers enrolled in one of two income-driven repayment plans: pay-as-you-earn plans and income contingent plans. More than 2.5 million borrowers will qualify for the forgiveness. President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill Act will phase out those two repayment plans in 2028.
Vice President J.D. Vance arrived in Israel today and said the Gaza peace plan is proceeding better than expected. But Trump issued a warning to Hamas in a post on social media. CBS's Aaron Navarro.
The president wrote that other Middle Eastern countries are offering to go into Gaza and straighten out Hamas. This comes after reports of infighting between Hamas and gangs inside Gaza, as well as the strikes regarding Israel over the weekend. The president said he told those countries, as well as Israel, to hold off on actually putting boots on the ground in Gaza, but he added there is still hope that Hamas will do what is right, and if they do not, an end to Hamas will be fast, furious, and brutal.
Amazon has big plans for robots in its e-commerce and cloud operations. Business reporter Jason Brooks has that.
The New York Times is reporting that Amazon wants robots to eventually replace up to 600,000 human jobs by 2033, with robots making up 75% of the Seattle-based company's workforce. Amazon issued a statement saying that the leaked internal documents reflect the perspective of one team and don't reflect the company's overall hiring strategy.
After the big outage yesterday involving Amazon's cloud service, some advice from CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
You should have estate documents, a will, a power of attorney, a healthcare proxy. There should be duplicates, one in the cloud, one electronic, one physical.
The glitch lasted several hours and disrupted internet sites around the world. Stocks are mixed at this hour. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at Progressive.com.
We're learning more about the teenagers in a car that plunged 80 feet off a Seattle overpass. But first, KIRO News Radio traffic. Here's Nate Connors.
Thank you, Heather. Home Comfort Alliance has our update. All of our major routes are pretty much wide open right now. If you're heading into Seattle, South 5 has a little crowding from Northgate through the U District, a little more through the heart of downtown. Linwood to Seattle plan on 20 minutes, which is right where we should be. Eastbound 520 is heavy coming off of I-5 over to Montlake, and then you'll clear out right away. Looks like we had a recent bridge closure there. Our heavy volume still approaching the Montlake Bridge from all directions. At SeaTac Airport, I'm seeing improvements on the Airport Expressway, but it's still jam-packed about halfway up from the terminal. Some drive times. Bellevue to South Center, wide open, taking just 15 minutes. Issaquah to Seattle, 15 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia is a 35-minute drive. Tired of uneven home heating and high energy bills? The Quilt ductless heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch. The man known as the Spokane South Hill rapist is no longer living in Auburn.
Auburn Mayor Nancy Backus says Kevin Coe was moved from her city following public outrage. Backus says she was never notified of Coe's arrival after he was released from state custody earlier this month. KIRO 7 TV reports Coe has since relocated to Federal Way near an elementary school. In a statement, the mayor of Federal Way says Coe, who's now 78 years old, is largely confined to a wheelchair and is confident he does not pose a significant public safety risk. Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
A hit-and-run crash in Pierce County ends with 2 arrests. Deputies say a 25-year-old woman slammed into 2 fences Sunday night and tried to walk away. Body cam video here.
Stop!
One, stay on me.
You're under arrest. Turn around. Put your hands behind your back.
Deputies say her 32-year-old passenger tried to interfere, but they arrested him too. Investigators say open containers of alcohol were found in the car. We're learning that the young people in a car that plunged off an overpass in Seattle over the weekend were from the Port Angeles area. One teenager died. More from KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Ottley.
Police are still trying to figure out what caused the crash.
It was pretty dark outside when I went out there, and it was raining pretty good.
The Port Angeles School District says one teen involved is a student at Lincoln High School. Two others had graduated Port Angeles High. Police have not identified the victim, but family friends tell us his name is Jaden. They describe him as a young leader doing his best to keep younger kids on the right path.
Washington quietly ended a rebate program that helped farmers hit with fuel surcharges under the state's climate law. The Washington State Standard reports the program gave back nearly $8 million to farmers and truckers who paid extra at the pump, but funding ran out this summer and lawmakers did not renew it. The Seattle Mariners' quest to go to the team's first World Series is over. Last night's game started to slip away after the Blue Jays' George Springer came up to the plate in the seventh.
Here comes the pitch from Bizzardo. Swung on. That is hit high, deep left field, and it is gone.
The Ams lost to Toronto 3-4, but we're all looking forward to spring training. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy skies with highs around 60. It is 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday, October 21st.
Well, you're half right.
I'm Jake Skorheim. Is it not Tuesday?
That's the half you got right.
Happy.
It's, you know what? The sun came up this morning, right?
Yeah.
Your car started on the way to work.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? Your kids had a big old dad breakfast with you. Life moves on.
Breathe in and out.
Breathe in and out.
It's like, all right, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about with our reaction to last night's just gutting loss by the Mariners. It's what sports is. I had to explain this all to my kids. They've never experienced the Mariners almost getting into the World Series. Neither have I, actually. So we had to experience it together for the first time.
Set you straight, sit you down. Dad,
we were all just crying.
Dad, it's going to be okay, Dad.
Listen, there's a lot worse things in the world, which is true. But sports is unique in that it does take you on this emotional roller coaster, and the stakes in real life are not super high, but it's still a roller coaster that we all experience. But we'll get into all that in just a second. But I'm going to get into first things first. First, I just heard this in Heather's news report. I had not seen this, but this just came out a little bit ago. We on the show here have been covering the case of the South Hill rapist being released.
Yes,
Did you see this update?
No.
Okay. This is nuts. If you guys haven't heard this
He's
yet,
running for mayor.
He's not running for mayor yet.
Okay. Because I hear he is not, he meant to be running, but I hear he's walking.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so listen to this. We had Auburn Mayor Nancy Backus on the show with us. I think it was just last week. Originally, Kevin Coe, who was known as the South Hill rapist, he was convicted of one rape in the accused of it in between the 1970s and 80s. Was accused of like 30 to 40 rapes.
Yes.
In Spokane. He was convicted of one. He spent 25 years locked up, and then he was moved to, was it McNeil?
McNeil, yeah.
He was moved to McNeil Island, where he was then held because they said, hey, we don't think this guy's safe. We're going to go ahead and do a psychological evaluation of him over a long period of time. Basically holding on.
Long-term rehabilitation program, which is what that island is for.
Yeah, the worst of the worst. They want to hold on to him for as long as possible because he's a level 3 sex offender, right? And they didn't think he was safe for the public, and so they said, we got to make sure this guy's safe. And so they held him there for a long time. He's now 78. The news that was told to us when he was released was, well, he's not mobile, he's in a wheelchair, this and that, which is why he's being released to Federal Way. Then Federal Way steps in and says, we don't want him at Federal Way. There's public outcry. Mm-hmm. So then they move him to Auburn without telling Auburn about it.
Right, because it was second on his list that his attorneys had put together, right?
His attorneys put it.
Potential final destinations for this man.
So Auburn Mayor Nancy Backus comes on our show and she says, whoa. Nobody let us know in advance with enough time to do anything about it. We don't want him in Auburn. So they have now successfully moved him.
Oh,
now
good
he
for
has
her.
been moved back to Federal Way.
Oh.
However, he has been moved to according to the news stories, near an elementary school. Now, I don't know what world normal people live in, but in the normal world that I live in, somebody has to register as a sex offender and
who hasn't completed the required rehabilitation procedures and processes and
moving back to Federal Way. And then the Federal Way mayor, according to what Heather just said, the Federal Way mayor says they feel pretty strongly that he's not going to do anything bad because he's mostly in a wheelchair.
Oh, we've
now
upgraded.
We know that that's not true
We've
because
upgraded.
Nancy Backus, our interview last week, mayor of Auburn, stationed police nearby to keep an eye on this guy because the community was obviously very up in arms that this guy was moved into their community. And she says that they did not witness him in a wheelchair.
They did a wellness check and saw him walking
They
around.
said they saw him moving around.
Right.
And so what was sold to us and the reality were not the same. Now, you and I initially disagreed on his release. I didn't think he should be released. You said if indeed it's true that he's not a danger to anyone and that he's not mobile, you were fine with it. You then changed your tune when you found out that he was mobile.
Well, what I initially said was that the judge who ruled that this guy was not a threat, he must be privy to more information than we, the public, have been given.
Mm-hmm.
Because by all the things we've been made available to us, the fact that he was 20 years on McNeil and didn't complete these required rehabilitation programs of contrition, admission of guilt, all the things that they show over theory and practice for decades means someone is been corrected from a behavioral and mental standpoint. Guy didn't do any of that. So for the mayor to say he's free to roll about the county, not to be quaint, but I don't see anything about that says that. The governor, or excuse me, the judge must know more. The judge who let him out must know more.
That was your assumption.
That was my assumption.
Yeah, and I assumed just the opposite.
I gave the judge the benefit of the doubt.
And I never do.
What kind of chucklehead could let this guy out just because, it's costing the state too much money to keep him at McNeil?
Who knows why?
Is it going to fall to his family, who's came from some means? Nobody knows what the current status is.
Sure.
But he's being released into the public.
Unconditional release, which means you can live near an elementary school. This is what the mayor of Federal Way, his name is Jim Farrow, had to say about it. He says, "We are disappointed to hear the news that Kevin Coe is moving to Federal Way and want to acknowledge community concerns regarding that move. We do not have a say in this matter, and we certainly understand the concerns surrounding it. Mr. Coe is a man in his late 70s who is largely confined to a wheelchair." Side note, we now know that originally we were told he is wheelchair bound and he's in a mental state where he's not a danger to anybody.
Right.
Those things seem not to be true now, according to the reports that we've heard.
The word largely confined. There's a lot of wiggle room there.
There's a lot in that word.
Yeah, wiggle room there.
So
he was confined, but now it's just largely confined.
Well, let me continue on with the statement. Mr. Coe is a man in his late 70s who is largely confined to a wheelchair. The mayor of Federal Way says, "While this does not eliminate the possibility of reoffense, we are confident that his presence in Federal Way does not pose a significant public risk to our residents." I don't know how you could be confident about that.
So let's plop him next to a school.
So he is now at 33700 block of 38th Place Southwest, a block from Brigadoon Elementary School, says KIRO 7. I don't even know how that's possible. I would be so upset if I had kids in that school and you moved the South Hill rapist within a block of the school. I don't understand how this works. His victims ranged in age from 15 to 51 when he was arrested, allegedly. 40 assaults he was linked to.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. This doesn't make sense to me. I wish they could make sense of it. Federal Way mayors are saying, well, we have no say in this. And maybe they don't, and that sucks. It's awful.
It seems the only person that has a say in this is the judge who granted him an unconditional.
What's the governor doing about this? What's the attorney general doing about this in our state? Don't they have a say?
Great questions.
Can they not make inquiries?
I would think the state's leading lawmaker and the state's chief executive should have a say regarding community safety.
Nick something? What's his name? Attorney General of Washington State.
Oh, I don't remember.
Nick Brown.
Brown.
There you go. Nick Brown.
I was right there with you.
Mr. Brown, how about some answers on this guy for the people in Federal Way who I think very rightly would be concerned that a level 3 sex offender has been placed a block away from an elementary school. I understand that he's got to be put somewhere, I guess, if the judge has let him out. I mean, like, if the judge let him out, which I think is a mistake.
Are you always within 500 feet of a school in Federal Way?
But if you're
is there that many schools in Federal Way?
If you're forced to register as a level 3 sex offender, level 3 means that they consider you highly likely to reoffend, if I read that correctly, then why would you allow somebody to live near an elementary school?
That makes no sense.
Can somebody please text me and let me know the reasoning behind this? 888-973-5476.
And again, I understand this guy has served his time, has spent 20 years in a rehabilitation facility, which he didn't take part in. I understand all that, but the community should have rights too. And the rights of this level 3 sex offender shouldn't be placed above the rights of a safe community.
This is
and
why
concerned parents.
This is why he shouldn't. This is why I was adamant from the very beginning why he shouldn't have gotten out, because it puts other people at. It totally changes somebody else's life. If you live next door to this guy now you live next door to the South Hill rapist. Yeah. Your kids go to that elementary school. Now every single day you're going to be looking out of the side of your eye, wondering if you're going to see the South Hill rapist. Like, are they going to put a sign up outside his house? This is like, hey, don't trick or treat here, kids. This is where the South Hill rapist lives.
Level 3s have to be the community has to be notified, right? It's part of the level 3 status.
Made aware. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. All right, that's crazy to me, and it's probably crazy to you too, which is why I'm seeing a lot of texts saying this seems crazy. We all agree this is crazy. Feel like we're taking crazy pills. All right, let's get into some Mariner stuff. Let's lighten the mood.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Spike, last night there is a debate happening now online. I don't even know if this is fair. I didn't play professional baseball. I don't really feel like I have a full-on say in this debate. But there's a question about whether or not Coach Dan Wilson, did he pull his pitchers too early? Do you think he pulled his pitchers too early? Do we even get a say in this?
We don't, of course.
It's the Pete debate from the Super Bowl 49. It's the same thing.
It's funny. I had the same thought last night. Will this go down? It was the decision that Dan Wilson made in conjunction with Cal Raleigh. This guy manages his pitchers. He knows he controls the game. These are all consultations that happen. These are decisions weighed by.
I wonder how much Cal Raleigh had to say about Wu being pulled from the game.
Well, I saw Dan Wilson's post. I imagine it is paramount. I mean, the guy is your field manager, your catcher.
Sure. Yeah.
He knows these pitchers.
He's involved in every play.
I saw Dan Wilson in the post game yesterday, and there's a bunch of questions. It's like, okay, do you pull Wu? Wu was just rolling. He was smoking out there. I saw an interview with Derek Jeter earlier in the series about pulling starting pitchers, when you pull a starting pitcher. And he's like, and Derek Jeter's he's a hitter with he's got some credibility. Mm-hmm. He's like, you never want to pull your guy.
Sure.
If you're a hitter and that you want him to pull that pitch, that's what you want. You don't want a guy who's got in complete control. That's not the guy you want to face. The guy
want a relief guy in there.
Max Scherzer in Game 6.
Yeah. Yelling at
Game 4. Yeah, yelling at his skipper.
Don't take me out of this game.
Right. And Jeter said that was Wu last night. And Dan Wilson's like, well, Bizzardo, he's been blah 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 in this, and we played the numbers, we played the odds, but that guy, it was his third time to be seen in 8 days in this series. Mm-hmm. The third time he'd been out there, and these guys recognize tendencies in hitters. The more they see them, that's why starting pitchers don't go through the third time of the order, is when you start thinking about have they figured this guy out today? You get a guy 3 times in a 7-game series, you're going to know what's going on. Then there's the, I can't wait for the T-shirts to come online that say, why do you pitch to George Springer with first base open?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, why? Like, to your point, why do you throw at the 1 yard line?
Yeah.
I think this will go down.
You think so?
In Seattle sports iconography, whatever it is.
How can this not be the eternal debate?
It will be. Yeah. Oh, it will be. Why are you pitching a guy who's their MVP? He's their angry man. He's the guy got plunked on the knee 3 nights ago.
He's got a chip on his shoulder.
He has got a chip on his knee and a chip on his shoulder.
About it.
And he led off the series with a first pitch home run. Guy's got power. He's first base open. I mean, I get it. You got 1 out. If you load the juice, if you juice the bases, it increases their odds quite a bit.
Sure.
You think you can get this guy. And here's the thing. Should we second guess? Of course we should. That's our right as fans. We gave them all this time.
That's what's great
all
about
this
sports.
Emotion. Yes. Look at me.
We could Tuesday
My blood
morning
pressure meds. Yeah.
Manage this all day.
But here's a great pitcher. Guy's a major league middle reliever who's been sensational in this series, okay?
Talking about
Bizzardo.
Yeah.
And here's their guy. I mean, that's what sometimes it just boils down to. 2 great athletes, and Springer got the better of him.
I saw this one tweet. Somebody said, just be a little more patient. You pull Kirby, you pull Wu. You know what was fun about watching Wu? The Mariners pitching staff is unbelievable, and I was saying it all night last night. I'm watching the game with my dad. We're sitting there, we're watching it. My sons are there.
They had held him to 1 run in the 7th inning.
It was a way different game than last game.
You're 8 outs away.
We are 8 outs away. Yeah. We're all sitting there thinking it. I'm having I'm an old fashioned. I'm pre-celebrating.
Sure.
Which is always a dangerous mistake. And I actually poured that drink in the second inning. I was so stressed. It was such a stressful game. I literally had to figure out a way to take an edge off a little bit. Yeah. And I sat there, and then the Mariners start scoring runs. And then Cal hits his home run. Oh. And then you start getting this idea in your head that maybe, just maybe, this is actually going to happen. And then Wu gets on the mound. That guy's a beast. And his attitude, he's snarling like a bull. Everything he does up there, he's just chomping at the bit. And you want a guy like that.
And the 2 times he'd been out in this series prior, very, very questionable. Not questionable. He's knocking the rust off.
He's coming off a rehab.
Yes. And he felt like he dialed it in.
Season.
Dialed it in.
He's dialing in. He's hitting his marks. He's doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then they pull him. And then the next guy. And then a home run. And then I just am sitting there going,
the whole city.
All right, we've got an inning and a half now.
Yeah.
We've got an inning and a half. Please. Oh my! I guess 2 innings at that point. What was the 7th inning when Springer
we had the 8th
run?
and 9th. Yeah, we had 6 outs to go.
Okay, so listen to this. Then Brian was being interviewed after the game.
Yeah.
You want to hear what the sound of agony escaping from the human body sounds like. As Brian Wu is giving an interview, a shriek comes across the locker room. And we don't know where it came from. We know now.
We didn't at the time, but this was in the MLB postgame.
I saw from many different sources. You probably did too, but this was a scream heard from the showers by Julio. Listen to this.
Having gone as further than any other team in franchise history.
Legacy is...
Listen to that. That is a primal scream of pain.
Having gone as further than any other team in franchise history.
You say you love it. Why do you love it?
I love it.
Because I had a very similar reaction when I heard that.
You want a guy that's like, oh well, did pretty good. We got a lot to look forward to.
We got farther than anybody else got.
Yeah, here's a guy who he wants it so bad he cannot control himself.
No, the rage.
Right? And
rage.
And you saw Cal with his interview, his post game.
We have heard that. He's in tears.
Yeah.
Clearly, this is a very emotional time for you and everyone else. Just what's going through your mind right now?
Just thinking about what we could have done better. You look back a lot of points in the game, and where you could have taken advantage of, or even the series, and so just disappointed. Yeah.
It's right where we're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
The 5 stages of
grief.
A Mariner, I call it fanger. Mariner fan grief. 5 stages of Mariner fan grief.
That's Jacob
Denial.
Rummel's laugh. Laura's out today.
Right?
Jacob Rummel's.
We got 6 more outs. Denial. Right?
Yeah.
Anger. Ah! I love that scream. And then, we're depressed, and we got the fanger. Then acceptance. Okay. And then there's the optimism.
We haven't gotten to acceptance yet.
Well, no. I'm not talking about, by noon on Tuesday we're there.
Yeah.
But you know what? I already heard somebody, spring training's in February. This team's, they're young. Most players under 30. We got all-stars.
All those things are true.
Front office is going to get Naylor, get Suarez, lock them up long-term. But those are all things, but we're Mariner fans. Mm-hmm. You were protecting your heart going into last night.
Yeah.
We all were, right?
You know what I had to do?
You wanted to love. You wanted to trust. But you've been hurt.
I felt like I'd been broken up with. And I immediately was like, all right, I need a rebound. And I just switched over to the Seahawks. And thank God the Seahawks won last night.
I heard the best joke, and I got to credit Andrew Rivers for this. I watched the Mariners lose. So I go and I turn over to the Seahawks game to get myself cheered up. And it felt like my parents were divorced and mom's new boyfriend wanted to throw the ball around.
That's true.
I can't take it. That is exactly how everybody felt last night.
Yeah. Still hurts.
Hurts.
Still hurts.
Hurts. It's supposed to hurt. That means you care.
It's supposed to hurt.
Right?
Yep.
High dive's a great feeling when you're going down, but then you hit that water.
You smack your belly into the water.
So we planted.
We have a lot more. We got more sports stuff we're going to cover a little bit later. We'll get to a really interesting take on the Seahawks, actually, because Seahawks actually look really good.
They look great.
So we'll get into that a little bit later. But next, Chris Sullivan's going to join us. There's a hilarious picture on mynorthwest.com. You should go see it. He took it. There was a traffic accident, And
As
the
you
people
see.
exchanging information, they did it
as
in
they
the
do.
weirdest spot possible.
As they shouldn't.
As they shouldn't. And Chris will join us to talk about what you're supposed to do. So stick around. We're back.
This hour is brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
Well, you're getting ready every morning. Make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full lineup is only at the one place pros rely on. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery. Or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers, exclusively at the Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Homes are sitting, but the bottleneck
back is about to break, set yourself up for success by working with a team that doesn't just set up your listings and let it sit. The Novak team creates a marketing strategy that's hands down proven successful. Mike sold over 1,500 homes and guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If Mike doesn't get your home under contract within 21 days, he sells it for free. That is no commission for Mike. Go to meetthenovaks.com. That's meetthenovaks, NOVAKS.com.
I'm Macy House with Baird Global Investment Banking. In today's markets, global financial capabilities aren't worth much without personal attention to your priorities. Baird Banking, Research, and Private Equity professionals are located across 3 continents, sharing more than investment expertise. As employee owners of our firm, we all have a personal stake in your success, here in the Pacific Northwest and around the world. Discover the Baird difference. Visit rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Heather Bosch. The city of Auburn admits the U.S. Border Patrol was able to access information from its license plate readers, which the department uses to fight crime. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Son explains how it happened.
When getting the cameras, cities have the option of sharing data with local agencies, with state agencies, or nationwide. Cities can opt in so they can work with local police departments. But when a city checks that box to share nationally, that data can also be shared with federal agencies. In response, Auburn police have now turned the national feature off.
It's unclear how Border Patrol plans to use the information it obtained. A federal appellate court has cleared the way for the Trump administration to deploy National Guard troops to Portland, something it's talked about doing in Seattle. Mayor Bruce Harrell.
We will fight this tyrannical approach, this federal overreach. We are prepared and we are vocal in our stance on protecting the values here in Seattle against Trump.
The Trump administration wants troops to protect the Portland ICE facility. Protesters have been gathering outside of it. A man who was pardoned in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol today pleaded not guilty to planning to assassinate the top Democrat in the House, Hakeem Jeffries. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
They're calling for the death of elected officials. Please, enough of that. We got to stop it. Stop the rhetoric, stop all the nonsense, and stop the violence.
Day 21 of the federal government shutdown and federal programs, including SNAP food assistance, could soon be affected. Kelly Turner relies on the program, which she says already doesn't go very far.
A lot of meats are off the table for me. So I've gone down to a mostly vegetarian diet. And sometimes even that's hard.
She says she gave up her pet because she couldn't afford to feed it. The Mariners came within inches of history but could not punch the ticket to the World Series. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibow spoke with fans last night.
In the end, you could feel that deep, heavy sigh up until now from fans as the M's couldn't make the magic happen for a 4th time.
We had it. Our spirit was here. Our spirit's here.
That's the deep sigh that we all heard throughout the city. But despite this loss, fans tell me it's the best season and team they've watched in their lifetime.
On Wall Street, the Dow was up 265 points, NASDAQ down 26. KIRO News Radio traffic. Here's Nate Connors.
Thank you, Heather. ProSculpt has the update. We continue to see pretty easy commutes across the region, South 5 into Seattle. Plan on a little crowding from the U District into downtown. Nothing serious. You're doing freeway speeds here. Linwood to Seattle hovering at 20 minutes. Out in Montlake, there's still some backups approaching the Montlake Bridge. I'm guessing this is bridge closures. I don't see any blocking problems, but I will say Lake Washington Boulevard, you're backed up all the way into the Arboretum. If you're heading to the airport expressway remains jam-packed about halfway up as you approach the terminals, adding maybe 5 minutes or so to that commute. Seattle to Everett, just a 25-minute drive. Renton to Puyallup on 167 is 20 minutes. Olympia to Tacoma, 35 minutes. ProSculpt, the one-day permanent fat loss and skin tightening solution for men and women offered by New Skin Med Spa in Bellevue. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy today with highs around 60. It's 57 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. All right, this is a good lesson for anybody out there who finds himself in the regrettable position of getting in an accident on the road. It sucks. Nobody wants it, but when you do, you've got to exchange your insurance information. But there is a protocol. There's things that you can do so you're not a pest to everybody else. We are excited to welcome right now Chris Sullivan on the show with us.
Thank you.
Chris, you are our insider into everything traffic and choke points. And
highway pest control, apparently, too.
Yeah, pretty much,
highway pest control. You had an article on mynorthwest.com. People should check it out right now, if only to see the hilarious picture that you posted.
Yes.
What happened, and how can people not be so stupid?
Okay, this is something that I saw during the morning commute on Friday, and the picture is pretty well representative of when you go and slap your head with your hand, like, are you serious?
There's a
me?
hand faceplant emoji now.
Yeah.
That thought has become so common, that reaction.
And I use it a lot. But so what it was a small fender bender on southbound 405 at Canyon Park, coming down into the Bothell area. And, there were two guys who were in the left-hand lane, two cars, and the two drivers were standing in the middle of the left lane in between their cars. Again, this is the height of rush hour on Friday morning, and they're just sitting there having a conversation. I'm sure, they mean well. They're exchanging information. They're doing what they're supposed to. Both cars looked fine, but they were just standing and so this was like, okay, I know this sounds dumb. Most of us know this, but it's a good time to do a driving 101 reminder. What happens if you get in an accident?
Are you saying
that is not it?
Are you saying that you're not supposed to stand in the middle of the busy road to exchange insurance information?
No. The rule is if your car is drivable in the state of Washington, if your car is drivable, get off to the side of the road and exchange your information there. Or better yet, if you trust the other driver or feel safe or comfortable enough, go to the next exit and actually get off and exchange your information there. Now, if you are injured, stay in your car, seat belted, wait, call 911. If your car is not drivable, stay in your car, seat belted, call 911. But if your car is drivable, and in this case, drivable can be, I might be leaking some fluids,
right?
But I can get it over.
Yeah, we're talking about 20 feet. Can you move your car 20 feet? Can you get it out there? And I don't mean pushing it, but can I get it over there?
Even pushing it, I would say.
I still wouldn't. But just because you don't want people on the road.
I know you don't, but there are people on the road in this case.
Well, exactly.
They're standing in the middle of the road.
But their cars were totally drivable, and they could have gone over like almost right away. The damage looked really, really minor.
Have you guys ever seen somebody who's either a car has broken down at an intersection or maybe a stoplight or something, their battery dies or whatever it is? Have you guys ever gotten out and helped push their car?
I have.
As have I, Spike. I'm sure you have as well.
Far too many times to even count over my decades of driving.
And so I'm shocked. These are two grown men standing here.
Yeah. So it looked like it.
It looked like it, but apparently they're giant children. I don't understand what's going through somebody's head. Why they would just, unless it's just pure selfishness, that they're not willing to consider the plight of everybody else stuck in traffic behind them,
or the adrenaline. I mean, when you get in a crash, you're not necessarily thinking right away. Right, you've got a lot going on, and then the way I was raised, I mean, Spike and I are, a little closer in age, but you're not too far behind, Jake. That when we were taught, or I was taught, hey, you got to document everything, get all your information, leave the cars, because I'm worried that if I move to the shoulder, I might end up being liable when he was the one who rear-ended me. These days, the state patrol, anybody who investigates, they're going to figure that out. You're not going to lose anything, or your insurance adjuster isn't going to go, well, I can't pay your claim because you moved the car. No, that information can be gleaned later and in a safer space.
Sure.
So get it out of you don't worry. I know maybe they thought that if I move my car, there's going to be evidence lost.
Skid marks aren't going to be lined up with his car who rear-ended me.
Exactly. Or something.
I understand the thought process.
So, I understand the idea, and it's hard to fight against, because no one likes to fight, because then you're fighting with your insurance company, where you're going to be anyway, because it's
Spoiler
a crash.
alert, that's coming anyway. Yeah.
So, and no one likes that, obviously. We've all been in accidents. But get your car off to the side of the road, exchange your information there, call 911. But again, if you're injured, your car's not drivable, stay there, call 911. But yeah, don't have a conversation. I mean, this was in the middle of 405.
Well, and
during the rush hour.
It might be selfish. It might just be flat out ignorance. A lot of people haven't been in that situation before. I know it's hard to believe.
I don't believe it.
Well,
it could be though.
It could be, but it's not just about consideration of other drivers, because you are literally how the city clogs up anytime one thing goes wrong.
Yeah,
one thing goes wrong. We are such a tightly woven traffic system here. One hiccup and we all go sideways. But it's also about your safety. Yeah. You said two guys were standing between two stopped cars.
Between them, if somebody rear-ended it, they could have been
for the love of sanity, people.
Yeah, look at the picture at mynorthwest.com and see if we're overplaying this. But no, it's pretty clear.
Let me ask you guys this question. You're being far too generous.
Was Darwin right? Is natural selection sometimes the best option? Maybe.
You guys are being far too generous with these individuals. Even if they have not read the rule books, and even if they don't understand that they're supposed to move their car. Maybe they grew up being taught, never move it. I don't know.
Yeah, fair.
You're sitting out there in front of traffic. Why the hair on the back of your neck is not standing up, and the awkwardness that you should be feeling.
Your spidey
as
sense.
You have 10,000 sets of eyes staring at you going, get your car out of the road.
Or ripping by at 45, 50, 60 miles an hour.
Honking,
3,000 pounds of metal.
Car out of the road.
Yeah.
Why that isn't kicking in, there's an instinct there that those people are just choosing to ignore that I guarantee you they were feeling, because they're living human beings. So they had to have been feeling it. Otherwise, I don't know how they survived into mature adulthood. And I use that word loosely. It makes no sense to me. Let me ask you this other question. Why don't, because I was in this experience 3 weeks ago. I have to take the trestle every day, twice a day.
For people that don't know, the trestle, Highway 2 between Everett and, say, Lake Stevens going towards Snohomish.
Yes.
That's the elevated over like the riverbed and farmland.
Yes, over EB Island. So every single day I have to take this to and from. I live in Snohomish County there. And there was a horrible traffic. And what normally takes me 5 minutes to zip across that thing took me an hour. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, there must be some bad accident on Highway 2. And, when I was a kid, I had a wonderful teacher in first grade that taught me anytime you see an ambulance go by, say a quick prayer for whoever might be in that ambulance, which is a nice thought. So my instinct is not to wish harm on anybody who's causing these things. I assume something bad happened because it's such horrible traffic.
Sure.
I say a quick little prayer. I'm sitting in traffic for an hour. I call my wife. Our evening's plans have been completely thrown aside. We have practices that we're now having to reshuffle and figure out who's going to drive to who. Because, again, I'm sitting in traffic for an extra hour that wasn't planned. I get to the aforementioned traffic stop, and it is just a car that has died in the middle of Highway 2, and they're dead. What's crazy to me is that there was also a responding vehicle. I don't know if it was from WashDOT. I don't know if it was from local police or whatever. It didn't look like a cop car. It was just a truck with lights on it.
Yeah, one of the IRT trucks?
One of the IRT trucks.
Okay, incident response.
Why are they not using, that's a big truck, it's an F-350 or whatever it is, why are they not using the front of the bumper of that truck and just shoving that thing across the remaining half a mile of trestle, getting it off there? Because there are a couple thousand cars waiting for hours now at this point. Why don't they move that car?
They generally do.
They did not.
They generally do. I mean, the state patrol will push you and get you. I mean, I've seen those IRT trucks shove things out of the way.
They'll push you off a ferry.
Maybe the car,
promise you that.
Maybe the driver's like, no, you're not touching my car. No, you're not touching my car.
There's a special ring of hell. After I said my prayers, now I'm wishing that, no, I don't wish them to hell.
Do you have a property right? I mean, say you've got a nice car.
This was not a nice car.
Well, do you have the right to say, please don't push my car with your tow truck? I'm waiting for a tow vehicle. I've got AAA. My bumper repair alone these days, $7,000 for bumper repair. People are paying $100,000 for a car.
No, you're right.
Right? You got a $5,000 bumper repair coming because you got a battery die or some alternator went up.
I don't care about your stupid car. Push it.
But I'm saying, do people have the right to be that selfish to protect their property?
I believe you can. Again, I'm talking out of my league, not legally.
We're just spitballing stupid people right now.
Because, I mean, if you didn't want something to, with a cow catcher to jam you, when your car's not damaged.
I know Jake's kid's got practice, but that's a $7,000 bumper.
Listen, I got a spare tire in my truck. I'm willing to let them tape it to the front of the truck and push them off the road and maybe save a little bit.
It's a boat bumper mentality. You're not wrong. Is there
100%.
When people push cars, don't they have something out out? They throw a bumper in front of their bumper?
Not necessarily, because these IRT trucks do have push bumpers on the front of them.
They're made of solid steel. Painted bright yellow.
Yeah, you could, and they do, but they push lots of things. I've seen them of semis. They'll just roll them and push them as best they can.
I don't know what's happening.
But that's unfortunate. I'm sure the driver had a good reason. I hope.
No, they didn't. I know they don't, and we're out of time, so we're not going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Sorry.
They had no good reason.
They were selfish.
They were selfish.
Don't stand in traffic.
Don't stand in traffic.
Go.
You heard it here from Chris Sullivan first. All right, Chris, thanks for coming in. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. G. Scott here with Jonathan from DUI Heroes to tell us how the legal team at DUI Heroes treats new clients.
What we always do is recognize the human being behind the charge and treat them the way we would want to be treated. All of us take care of you together through the entire process.
People make mistakes. If you or a loved one has been accused of DUI, call DUI Heroes and speak to a lawyer who will listen and be there for you. DUI Heroes can help you. Call 1-800-DUI-HERO or DUIHeroes.com.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Did you know September is historically one of the strongest months to sell a home, and there's typically a post-Labor Day boost that runs through October and sometimes even later. So is now the time to sell your home, and how much is it worth? Well, get an estimate of your home's value instantly at sellwithwest.com. If you want local expertise, someone who actually knows what's happening with the housing market in your neighborhood, there's no one more local than Wes Jones. Go to sellwithwest.com, sellwithwest.com, and start by using their free home value calculator to see what your home is worth. It might be worth more than you think. You'll get so much more than just a number from Wes Jones. We're talking about recent sales in your neighborhood, the market temperature in your city, side-by-side comparisons of multiple online estimates. You can even calculate how much equity you have, and even a breakdown of how your home's value has changed over time. Go to sellwithwest.com, type in your address, and bam, you'll have instant access to all of this and more. It's fast, easy, it's local. Sellwithwest.com, a better way to sell your home.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
After replacing more than 100,000 failing lenses, we have the experience to tell you if it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation with us about K2 Vision RLE to get your eyes seeing young again, permanently.
Go to k2visionrle.com, k2visionrle.com.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
You can count on trusted local news and information from the Seattle Times, one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country, right here in the Pacific Northwest. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
Welcome back to the show. I feel like I should do that in a bad French accent.
I feel like you shouldn't.
Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. Is that your dog?
Jacob, have you seen the Pink Panther movies?
Yes, I've seen one that Beyonce is in, so not one of the...
No, you have not. No.
Lord.
No, you have not seen the Pink Panther
I have seen some of the other ones, but my memory of them is less precise.
Was that Steve Martin?
Yes, Steve Martin remade
Okay.
those.
Do you know the name Peter Sellers?
Yes.
Okay. You have homework. I'm assigning it right now.
It's fun. We have a running bit on the show where we ask Laura.
I'm not going to do this homework, yeah.
we asked Laura if she's
She'd be
seen
in line
movies.
with the show.
Because Laura has not seen any movies, apparently. She's unaware of the art form.
Complete parental failure.
She has not seen such movies as Sixth Sense. She has not seen basically anything that we ask her. She hasn't seen it. So she certainly hasn't seen the Peter Sellers Pink Panther movies.
But it's the perfect segue to this story.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
a French detective.
French detective fumbling his way through an investigation trying to solve what might be one of the greatest jewel heists in recent history, if not history. Brazen, certainly. These
At
thieves,
least, yeah.
Here's an update. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, but thieves broke into the Louvre in broad daylight, 9:30 a.m. There was already people in the gallery where they were breaking in. I have now watched video footage, as you can too, of thieves using metal grinders, cutting open the display cases where you have crown jewels in the Louvre. And the way they got in is so amazing. They just literally drove basically a French version of Arrested Development stair car down the side of the road, parked it next to the Louvre, walked up the steps, got onto a balcony, cut
Use
open
those
the window.
grinders to cut open a secure window.
Cut open a secure window, got inside the gallery, where they are approached by a security guard who retreat at the sign of their
grinders.
At the sign of their metal grinders.
The tool/weapon. That grinder is very functional.
In
Battery
Europe-
operated, available at your local home
in
improvement
Europe,
store.
that's very scary.
Sure.
Metal grinder scares anybody in Europe. So they then go over and they steal a lot of stuff, And now the update is, and I don't know why this is such a massive update, the Interior Minister is saying that the raid was thought to have actually been carried out by an experienced team. Obviously, this just didn't happen by chance or, randomly one day. So this was planned, and they're thinking it's possible, and this makes it feel very much like a movie, that it was actually commissioned by a private collector who had his eye or her eye, plural. Maybe they have one eye. That would be very villainous.
It would. Little eye patch.
Yeah.
Hairless cat.
Who had maybe as little as one eye on these jewels and has lusted after them and wanted them and hired this professional team to go in and get them.
Yeah.
And so they did. And so they don't know if that's the case yet. They obviously haven't found anyone yet. But it's really interesting now to watch as this information spreads about on social media. And you can watch footage of it take place. They do not look very imposing. They look like
the workmen.
Yeah,
in
the people in
coveralls,
yellow vests.
yellow vests. Yeah.
So it's
your average furniture mover. When you want to take a sofa to the second story of the Louvre, that's what you do.
There you go.
9 o'clock Monday morning, business hours.
Yeah.
Let's go up,
crazy.
What strikes me about this particular story about the new information, it's just a volley of hope for the French people.
Why do you think it's a volley of hope?
Because the first thing we thought yesterday was these jewels are antiques, right? They're heirlooms. They're not traceable. The common sense approach yesterday was, or the common thought was, it's going to be melted down for precious metals. The jewels will be harvested out of these priceless pieces of jewelry.
You're right, but if it's going into a collection,
and that's why I say it's some evil collector, who wants to keep them in one place. So there's hope of recovering them intact. That's not going to happen.
Maybe.
Who knows?
We'll find out.
If only we had an inspector.
Inspector Clouseau is on it.
Case.
He'll fumble his way into the answer. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Jason Rantz coming up next. We will be right back.
The John Curley Show.
And the reason I love autumn the most, and I guess that's why I love to grow pumpkins,
Weekdays 3 to 7.
is because it's nature telling you summer is over and soon it will be dark and it will be cold and there will be no light. And just before, nature says, here's a prize for you because we know you're going to go into hibernation. So here's orange and yellow and fiery colors everywhere. So this is our final gift to you.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Apollo Plumbing.
I got a bone to pick with you.
Say what?
You're donating service fees.
To Seattle Children's.
All month.
All the way to $20,000.
Right. That's my problem.
Huh?
Your plumbers cleared my drain last month.
Right.
And already replaced my water heater last summer.
And?
Now I have no reason to call Apollo Plumbing.
And yet you are.
I want to help you help Seattle Children's.
But
I don't need a plumber right now.
Oh, so we can't donate your service fee.
Right.
Got a fix for that.
How?
Visit our website.
Because
we have a donation link there.
Helping Seattle Children's?
Helping them provide patient care, support research, and ensure no child in need is ever turned away.
Love that.
Even if you do call Apollo for help, and we donate your services fee.
Could I donate even more?
Exactly. Benefiting Seattle Children's Hospital.
All this month.
All their service fees.
All the way to $20,000.
Maybe even more with your help.
That's so Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
If you have Medicaid and are new to Medicare, you may qualify to enroll in a Humana Medicare Advantage dual eligible special needs plan with a lot more benefits like dental, vision, and hearing, along with helpful support when you need it most. Now is the time to see if you qualify to enroll. It only takes a few minutes to find out if you're eligible. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options. So this Medicare planning season, we can help you plan well. Learn more at humanaduals.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a dual-eligible special needs HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. we can help.
Dr. Mark Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, including mine, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. And we've interviewed over 100 of Dr. Wagner's patients, and we hear the same things. It changed my life. I'm back to doing the activities I love without pain. It really works. It's remarkable.
We love helping people get back to living life to the fullest and doing the things they enjoy most.
They also must really enjoy not having the pain and recovery time with surgery.
Stem cell therapy is a 60-minute, non-surgical, minimally invasive procedure to eliminate pain, regenerate cartilage, treat tendon and ligament tears, osteoarthritis, and chronic tendinitis.
And you only use the patient's own stem cells.
That's right, their body's own stem cells.
So whether it's a hip like me, an elbow, shoulder, or knee.
Don't forget ankles, wrists, and thumbs.
Yep, those patients too. Before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD first. Learn more at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Vice President J.D. Vance is the latest administration official to arrive in Israel as the fragile Gaza peace plan holds. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb.
The fact that J.D. Vance is in Israel having these meetings alongside Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, who of course helped negotiate this deal and push it through, is significant. Although Mr. Vance has said that the reason he was in Israel was a trip that had long been planned, it really does come at a time in which the president clearly wants this deal to work.
Much of the frustration on the Israeli side is over the slow pace of Hamas returning the bodies of hostages. 2 more bodies were handed over today. President Trump's plans to meet again with Russia's president have been put on hold, according to a White House official. They were to have met in Budapest. Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke by phone today with Russia's foreign minister. An additional meeting was deemed not necessary. Day 21 of the government shutdown, and the rhetoric is about the same.
Democrats used to care about the harm that shutdowns caused hardworking Americans.
Premiums, copays, and deductibles are about to skyrocket, and Republicans have refused to address it.
President Trump hosted Senate Republicans at the White House today for a display of unity. Peter King reports on new research showing half of all Americans will file for Social Security benefits well before the full retirement age.
The retirement survey shows 44% of Americans say they'll file before age 67. One reason?
They're faced with a savings gap, and they need the money right away.
Deb Boyden heads U.S. Defined Contribution for Schroders, which conducted the survey. She says people know they're leaving money on the table by claiming early, but
there is a lack of confidence in the future of the Social Security system.
Only 1 in 10 people say they'll wait until age 70 to claim the maximum benefit.
A potential mass casualty event at the world's busiest airport was averted. The family of 48-year-old Billy Cagle alerted police about their concerns. CBS's Skylar Henry is at Hartsfield International in Atlanta.
They say that he left his flatbed pickup truck right outside of the departure area here at the airport, came inside to this TSA checkpoint and scouted the area. The police chief yesterday said that he feels as if he was then planning on going back to that truck to then get his hands on that loaded semi-automatic rifle that had at least 27 rounds of ammunition inside. Police across the board saying that a crisis was averted.
On Wall Street today, stocks finished mixed. The Nasdaq was off by 36. The Dow Jones Industrials finished 218 points higher. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A year after a teenager allegedly kills 5 members of his Fall City family, there is still no trial. We'll explain, but first, KIRO News Radio traffic. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, this report brought to us by Buc-ee's. Our only collision right now is in Auburn. It's eastbound 18 at Southeast Auburn Black Diamond Road. It's just reported, so I'm not sure which lane it's blocking, but I can tell you your bumper-to-bumper backup starts near M Street, about a mile or so back up there. Here in Seattle, South 5 remains crowded from the U District into downtown. Again, nothing heavy here. Linwood to Seattle's at 20 minutes. Our earlier backups in Montlake have all cleared out. Down at SeaTac Airport, the Airport Expressway has also cleared. Up at Hood Canal, the Hood Canal Bridge just reopened to vehicles, so we've got brief backups from both directions approaching the bridge right now. Otherwise, we're looking really good. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing and guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch. There is still no trial date set 1 year after King County prosecutors say a 15-year-old Falls City boy fatally shot 5 members of his family. One of his sisters escaped. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin explains.
The case is currently stalled while attorneys decide whether to have the trial in adult or juvenile court. The case also can't move on until psych evaluations are done, but the defense says that they are having trouble getting witnesses to interview because of the intensity of this case.
A hearing is set for April of next year. We're learning that the young people involved in a deadly Seattle car crash over the weekend were from the Port Angeles area. That's according to a letter from the local school district to families that was shared with KIRO 7 TV. Investigators say the car plunged 80 feet off an overpass in the Soto district. 1 teen died at the scene. 3 others were hospitalized. A 37-year-old man shot and killed on a popular South Seattle walking trail in broad daylight yesterday.
The shooting happened on the Mountain to Sound Trail near Gulf Drive South and South Charles Street. Passers-by found the man down with a gunshot to the head just before 5 p.m. SPD Detective Eric Munoz says investigators are looking for witnesses.
If they heard any gunshots, if they heard any suspicious activity, call either 911 or that violent crimes tip line, 206-233-5000.
So far, police have no motive for the shooting and no suspect. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A King County judge has ruled that the nude beach at Seattle's Denny Blaine Park can stay open until spring. The decision follows months of debate over public nudity, neighborhood complaints, and city enforcement. Seattle Mariner fans are still cheering their team, which won its first American League Division Series in more than 20 years before falling to Toronto last night in the league championship.
I'm proud of how far we got. You know, like first time since 2001. Like we could have had it. My heart is there, but we didn't make it, but we made it this far. We made it this far.
Both Julio Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh hit home runs, but the final score was Mariners 3, Toronto 4. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy with highs around 60. It's 57 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour is now behind us. 2 hours are ahead of us. Tons of great stuff to talk about. I'm very excited to welcome to the show right now, although he does seem to be having problems with his microphone, so I hope he can get those ironed out in the next 10 seconds. Jason Rantz from Seattle Red 770 AM joins us now. Jason, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello. All right, you've got a great article over there at seattlered.com. People should go check this out. And at the University of Washington, if you want a job there, you are required to probably have a pretty good resume, I assume. You have to be well-educated yourself. You probably have to have a winning personality and a nice smile.
Well, that's definitely not true.
Jagged with some patches on the elbows.
Some patched elbows,
hurt, right? Maybe
absolutely.
Maybe a pipe. Who knows?
They don't want to see you smoking the pipe.
Yeah, they can't. Smoking is not in.
Is that antiquated?
Yeah, you can't do that.
Okay.
You can hold a pipe legally on the UW campus, but if you smoke it, they will accuse you of some sort of a horrible
Well, it depends actually what's in the pipe.
Excellent clarification.
If it's marijuana, they're fine with it.
Sure, but tobacco, the devil's weed.
Tobacco, you're absolutely right.
Devil's
so Jason,
lettuce.
what's the devil's lettuce? What's happening on the UW campus that people should be aware of?
Well, as the story points out, there are a number of applications for open jobs in which you effectively have to swear your allegiance to the concept of DE and I, diversity, equity, inclusion, as defined by the University of Washington. And there are a couple examples I have in the piece. One specific to becoming an associate professor of the School of Psychology, where you're required to submit a one-page diversity statement describing your identity, positionality, experience, and commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, plus alignment to the American Psychological Association's framework. If you want to become a professor of practice at the Evans School of Public Governance, basically the same thing, that you have to provide a statement noting how their teaching and service have the potential to support the Evans School's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and provide at least 2 examples of teaching materials that evidence ways you center educational justice. These are not suggestions on what you can include in your application. These are requirements. And the whole idea is to show your commitment to racial equity and social justice, again, as defined by the University of Washington.
Let me ask you this question. Everything you just described, I assume, is already something that most people would subscribe to if you are an employee at UW. But for them to require you to do these things, is it legal for them to require you to do these things?
I'm presuming they had it vetted. It's curious because Seattle is one of 2 places in the entire country, city, municipalities, basically, where ideological positions, your ideological position, is a protected class. So it's treated the same way as if you had a racial identity, an age that is otherwise protected from discrimination. So is
like if you're old,
ideological.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in this case, I imagine they're saying, well, it's not ideological. It's philosophical, perhaps, but it's not. No, this is clearly ideological, and I think the intent is to say to conservatives, don't even try. Unless you're willing to lie, don't even try.
Does the university have the right to decide who they want on their faculty, given the fact that they have an educational agenda, even not trying to be soft about it? I mean, all schools have different ideologies, different curriculum, right? Doesn't the university have the right to decide who they want on their staff?
Well, they have a right to a degree, except unless you're getting into protected classes, then obviously no, they can't discriminate on the basis of protected class. And let's presume for a moment that ideology, as far as a protected class, is off the table, since Seattle is extremely unique. Let's presume that this was a school outside of the city of Seattle. Yeah, they have the right to do that. Just don't pretend that you're not. Don't pretend that you're some sort of college or university that embraces diversity when you don't really embrace diversity if you're excluding people on the basis of their thoughts.
Diversity.
Colleges used to be a place in which you could go, and the whole point of college was to hear a variety of different viewpoints.
Used to be.
Yeah, it used to be.
Yeah.
It's not that case anymore. And I, by the way, I say that for conservative students, I think that you are best suited once you get out of college because you are constantly being challenged and constantly on the defense. I think actually conservative students get out of school in a much better position.
Much more rounded, you would say?
100%.
Yeah.
Because, again, you are constantly being pushed into defending a position. The problem, of course, is ultimately whether or not you're comfortable doing that, and it could be really intimidating when you're on a college campus at that age and you're not.
It can be when you're young and you're 19 years old, and suddenly you're having to have a conversation with a professor who's quite clearly trying to make an example of you, which does happen. Spike, you made a grimace there. Why would you make a grimace?
So what do you mean by professor trying to make an example of you? You think to ridicule a student and to belittle their points of view? That's
yes.
Do you think professors have that agenda?
I think it happens all of the time. Absolutely.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
What a cynical viewpoint. I'm so sorry you feel that way.
Well, students say that. I mean, that's not completely out of nowhere.
That teachers make examples of students if they offer a point of view.
Here's what I would say.
That's contrary to what the curriculum is trying to instill in these students.
Contrary to what the professor believes. You have a student who might stand up in a classroom of 16 people, say, in some seminar that the students might be taking.
Nice small school you're going to. Let's say 600 people. I'm kidding.
Let's call it 600 in your school. You stand up. You might be in a very small percentage of people who's even willing to stand up if you have a conservative point of view, willing to say something. That's a really hard thing to do at 19, stand out in a crowd, especially when you're challenging somebody whose ideas, or even just discussing, maybe you're not even seeing it as a challenge, but you're talking to a professor who's saying completely the opposite thing that you might be saying.
Yeah.
Now they're seeing what you're saying as a challenge. And yes, absolutely. There are countless stories of conservative students saying that they are not welcome to have these ideas and thoughts in a classroom setting. It happens all the time.
Well,
and being poorly graded.
A student feels like they're not. Well, maybe they're being challenged by this teacher. Like Jason said, conservative students benefit better from being challenged by opposing points of view. If a conservative student feels like he gets challenged by the professor, all of a sudden I'm being they can't accept my point of view. My point of view is being limited and restricted.
No, I didn't say it was being limited and restricted. I'm saying the professor is taking a target on that student and saying, grimacing.
Well, there's good faith. There's good faith, bad faith,
I guess
right?
That's. I'm not arguing that these things happen. It's the intent you're implying that these professors are to specifically belittle this student.
Yes.
I don't know that may be a way a student feels. That may not be the true reality of what happened in that classroom.
UW
we don't know.
We
don't know.
UW did investigation during the rise, not that it's gone away, but the rise of anti-Semitism on campus. And in their findings, they flat out said, I think they might have even used the word belittle in how students were being treated by professors simply because you defended Israel or Israeli defense positions as it relates to going after Hamas. So, I mean, that's part of their own findings. And we've certainly seen these cases in which professors are openly taking positions that are belittling conservative students.
We have cell phone footage. Spike. The algorithms probably don't present this to you in your findings. It's quite evident everywhere online. If you look for it, if you scratch at it just even a little bit, students pull out their cell phones all the time in classrooms.
Everything's captured.
And they find arguments that are happening between professors and students who quite clearly they come from ideologically different places. And I just don't think you're getting that same pushback from professors on students who have the same ideology. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, and you're right.
So it can create an environment where a conservative student doesn't feel like they're having the same experience as everybody else because their ideas. Yeah. Now, this happened to me when I was in college 20 years ago, so I know it's happening now because colleges have not changed. I'm sure they've gotten even farther to the left.
This happened to me before I even fully knew what my political position was. I went to Occidental College in Los Angeles, and I was it was like a precursor to Econ 101 when I first got there as a freshman. And I can't remember what the topic was, but it was about essentially defending an economic position of some kind. Okay. And I did the report, and the professor wrote comments giving me an A-. And I remember there's a really well thought out and argued.
Excuse me, there's a minus here.
Well,
what does that mean?
I'll take the minus.
You forgot to write the other half of the T.
I was okay with it. It was my first graded paper in this course. And he said, you made a really good argument. It was well thought out. But I hope after 4 years you start to change the way you view this topic. And that still sticks with me. It's like, that's not your position to tell me what I'm supposed to believe. Yeah. Your argument is
to show you opposing views and let you make a decision as to how you figure
it out yourself and then argue it in an effective way.
Here.
We agree?
Yeah.
We agree.
Well, I think that diversity, equity, inclusion are good things in a college campus, in a student body.
Most reasonable people do as well. It's how it's become politicized. And you can't argue that the DEI movement doesn't have politics all throughout it over the course of the last 6 years especially.
It's been weaponized by conservatives.
No, it's been weaponized by the left, and the conservatives are the ones pushing back against it. When you go out of your way and say, for example, that we're going to dismantle systems of oppression as viewed specifically by a progressive ideology, that's politics being put in place. So the whole movement, for example, under the American Psychological Association, I looked at their framework, and it was about dismantling systems of oppression. That is, I know you don't want to acknowledge it, but that is progressive keywords that are political. It doesn't have anything to do with what is objectively about diversity, equity, and inclusion. If by diversity, equity, inclusion, we mean, well, we want a diverse set of students or faculty members who think differently, don't exactly think exactly the same, most people would say, okay, that's fine. But what it becomes is, and I talked to Cliff Mast today on my show, he's a professor there, who's a conservative, who says he's been on these committees to hire faculty, and they are outwardly saying, you don't necessarily have the experience or the academic background, however, you come from a specific group of people that we're favoring right now, so we're going to put your name in the mix. That's wrong. That's the exact opposite of equity.
Well, but the DEI is about opportunity, right? Unless I have
access.
About access to opportunity, right? It's not about conclusion. It's not about results. It's not about hiring.
Until
That's affirmative
you put
action.
the politics into it. But affirmative action, I mean, that has been defended as part of the DEI
Well, they're two
movement.
very separate things.
No, I agree with you, but I'm saying the way that DE&I and these concepts have been perverted by radicals on one side, that's what's getting people like me on the right pushing back against that. We don't like, as it turns out, saying we're going to give people points because of some background that they have and make all these wild assumptions about an individual based on that background. That because you happen to be black or you happen to be Latino, we're going to give you extra points because you clearly come from a marginalized community in which you got no hand up. It was like, well, you don't know that about any of these individuals. And the dismissal, almost whole cloth, of Asians and just lumping them in with white people because the data around success rates amongst Asian families, or in this case, Asian students, is higher than the norm. It was like, oh, okay, well, then they must come from a place of privilege. Or no, maybe they just worked really hard and got to that point.
Privilege was
We don't
earned.
know what their background is beyond just their racial identity.
Cool.
It's interesting, too, because I do wonder, in this, you have people can read about this at seattlered.com, but this associate professor application thing you say here, quote, a one-page diversity statement, you already outlined this, describing your identity, positionality, experience, and commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion.
And why should you know their identity?
That's my question for you.
That's a weird one, and we would never accept that in any other job.
To ask somebody's identity seems like an overreach to me. Like, what? How are they going to use that information?
Seems like an HR
Are they going
problem.
to say? Yeah, it seems HR to me, where they're going to say, like, all right, well, we already have an identity like that, so we're not going to hire you. Even you might be the best person for the job. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the University of Washington receives public funding. Yes.
Yes, this would be illegal if they are basing their hiring practice on the person's identity. And generally, any HR professional will tell you, do not bring that up at all.
Do not ask those questions.
Don't put that on any application. You don't even want to ask for that, even if there are potentially nuanced ways around getting this.
Sure.
Like, do not put it out there. That is a red flag.
So for them to lead with that, I find also confusing.
I'm just saying, is inquiring about your identity does
You're
that mean
not supposed to do that.
Does that mean that you're basing the decision on the identity?
I think the reason why you're not supposed to do that is because the natural implication is that you're going to use that as a part of the determining factor. And
Why else would you ask it?
Yeah, there's no other reason behind. How is that respectful?
Yeah.
When you ask someone how they identify?
Yes.
You don't see how that's respectful?
No. In an application process? So if they identify as I'm a Latino Jewish person.
So that when you're interacting with them, you know who they identify as.
You address them as a Jewish person, or just you say,
"Hi, Jason"? What do you need that
Jason?
information for an application? I guess it's different than saying how you what are your personal pronouns, kind of thing. To your point of
isn't that what the identify means? Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Well,
no, they're talking about it in the framework of DE&I. So I think that the natural implication of that is more than just a pronoun. Otherwise, they would say, "What are your pronouns?" That's a common framing.
They also
right?
haven't been afraid to say what's your pronoun, so I assume they would just say what's your pronouns.
Well, I didn't read it that way, so maybe I'm wrong.
That's possible. It's possible.
Every day of my life. Come on.
All right, can we get to
but I am willing to learn.
Let's move on. Let's move on to something else real fast. This is a good one. In New York, Andrew Cuomo, who is going to lose to Zoran Mamdani, probably, for the mayoral race.
100%.
2 weeks left.
Yes, he's going to lose. He had this to say. He basically, I'll just summarize for him real fast. He said there's a war inside the Democratic Party right now, and to try to find what their identity is. And I was going to ask you guys, Jason, your insight, also Spike, your insight. Do you guys see any similar themes emerging here as we get closer and closer to this election between Harrell and Katie Wilson? Do you guys think that what we're seeing play out on the East Coast is also playing out here in Seattle?
Potentially. The difference in New York versus Seattle is New York media is really leaning into Mamdani because he's so ahead in the polls, which makes total sense to me. Here, there's not a whole bunch of polling, and you haven't really seen Seattle media leaning into Katie Wilson the same way they continue to amplify everything that Bruce Harrell is doing.
Sure.
Bruce Harrell's whole concept now for his campaign is every single day they're going to have a new press conference in which they're making
He's fighting for attention when you're this far back.
Yeah, but they're giving
I hear
it
Bruce
just
Harrell
to him.
Bruce Harrell called them in a dugout and had Brian Wu polled last night, so that the M's would lose, so he could get back in the news.
Yeah, it's like, make this about me.
Which is a good move, actually.
I think the media giving Harrell a lot of attention, more so than Katie Wilson, is what's the different dynamic here. There's no doubt that going into a primary, the person who is the furthest to either side, depending on the city that you live in, is going to do better because the activists tend to vote more often in the primaries and in larger numbers. So it's hard to tell whether or not winning by however many points you won is
in the primary.
going to hold up, now? Something like that. But, you can't just completely ignore that, and I think the media is completely ignoring that because they want to maintain a better relationship with the mayor who ices media outlets or individuals out when they don't toe the line he wants them to.
Or they know how far the race is, and it serves the media better if it's a dogfight. Maybe they're trying to help Harold along to make it closer, so it's a better news story.
But if Katie Wilson was getting more coverage, I would agree with you. Like
she doesn't need it. She's up 10 points.
But of course she needs to get the more moderate voters even aware of who she is. Again, primary versus the
general.
The general is completely different, and more people vote in the general. Again,
we hope.
Generally speaking,
and we're what? We're like
2 weeks?
exactly 2 weeks now.
Yeah. And to your point about, is there a civil war in the Democratic Party?
Yes.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God there's a civil war in the Democratic Party. You get your clock clean. You don't do some self-examination.
Yeah, they're leaning into the reason why they got their clock cleaned.
Well, locally it feels that way, and in New York as well.
New York,
I hear you. But at least we got to have the fight.
Jason Rance, thanks for coming in. Great stuff. We will have a lot more coming up, so stick around. We're going to be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
Well, you're getting ready every morning. Make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO Newsradio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Open enrollment for Medicare is underway. Are you ready? Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man here. Get organized now with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Insurance Commissioner's SHIBA program. Order your free copy today at insurance.wa.gov.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Privacy advocates warned it could happen, and now the city of Auburn confirms federal agents have gained access to its network of license plate readers. KIRO 7 TV's Renji Sinha reports.
According to Auburn, the flock cameras, which are used by many cities to try and find stolen cars or wanted suspects, have an option to allow data to be shared locally throughout the state or nationwide. Cities can opt into that feature, but if they do, the data can be shared with federal agencies.
Well, city leaders say they've now shut off that sharing feature and added monthly audits. Seattle's mayor says he is taking action to fight food deserts. This comes after the closure of the Fred Meyer in Lake City. Mayor Harrell signed an executive order directing city departments to explore acquiring that vacant property and also expand access to groceries and medicine. The plan includes zoning changes, partnerships with private businesses, and also a push for statewide reforms. Now to the closing bell reports. Amazon is aiming to replace more than 500,000 jobs with robots. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch reports.
Amazon executives say automation would allow the company to sell twice as many products within 10 years without adding to its U.S. workforce. And it's envisioning warehouses that are 75% operated by robots. That's according to interviews and documents obtained by the New York Times. Amazon says those documents are incomplete and don't represent the company's overall hiring strategy. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
Port of Seattle says the 2025 cruise season was a record breaker. Nearly 2 million passengers took cruises from Seattle to Alaska, as well as Mexico, Hawaii, New Zealand, and Asia. The industry injected $1.2 billion into the local economy and also supported more than 5,000 jobs. Mixed results today on Wall Street. The Dow up 218, NASDAQ down 37. S&P 500 was flat, up just 0.25 points. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 1:33. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, Aaron, this report brought to you by Global Credit Union in Auburn. We're still on scene of this collision. It's eastbound 18 at Auburn Black Diamond Road. It's in your left lane. That backup starts near M Street, about a 1 mile solid backup here. Starting to thicken up in South Tacoma, North 5, heavy between 72nd and the Mall. Southbound 167 through Kent at South 277th. You got a new crash in the left lane. Heading through Factoria, South 405 is slow. Approaching I-90 down to Cold Creek Parkway, and then you're going to break free. Just a brief backup here. Bellevue to Renton, right around 15 minutes. Heading into Seattle, we're still dealing with the same crowding South 5 from the U District in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle, still about a 20-minute trip. And out toward Poulsbo, road work on State Route 307 at Foss Road has you sitting in about a mile backup in both directions. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Well, it's a calm fall afternoon with highs today in the upper 50s and low 60s. Tomorrow night, rain returns. Right now looking at 57 degrees in Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. Jacob Rummel, as I mentioned, is in with us today. Laura's out today, but hoping she's back with us tomorrow. But Jacob, you found this really interesting article that then got Spike and I and you pre-show all talking about various ways that we spend alone time. Not in a weird way, but you get what I mean. There's an article in The Guardian. It talks about how people these days, there's a trend happening with folks who are doing more things alone. Can you explain why they're doing this? They're like going to music festivals and everything alone. Why is this happening?
Well, certainly lots of people doing this have various explanations for their motivations. The one that was among the most interesting to me, there's one person that says, if I bring my friend to the festival, I'm beholden to what they want to do, and if I go by myself, I get to every decision, every place that I am is exactly where I want to be in that moment.
Sure.
So that there's an autonomy and an appeal to being up by yourself that you don't get to do if you're with friends. So there's some appeal to them for doing more stuff by themselves.
The downside, of course, is you're a lonely. sad sack, perhaps, who's by yourself.
And that's valid. That's valid because you take a buddy or a friend or a date or whatever to an event, so you can have somebody to enjoy and experience it with.
The shared experience is a big part of the experience.
Absolutely, and I don't think these people are saying like there's they'll only ever do things by themselves. But it's
committing to loneliness for the rest of my life.
And they also say that's how you encounter strangers, right? Like that doesn't mean that you don't talk to anybody when you're there. It's just that you go into it, again, getting to do what you want to do and then seeing how stuff plays out from there.
In this article, at a social place like a music festival or something like that, where it would be very easy to meet people, because everybody there generally is, you're already around like-minded people who enjoy the same music maybe or whatever. There's also probably drinks flowing. Do you guys do anything? This is what it got me thinking of, though. Do you guys do anything that you're doing to be alone that you don't want to have any interactions with other people? Like you're going out in public. One of the things that people always talk about is like, okay, could you ever eat dinner alone? Could you ever go into a restaurant, have a meal by yourself? Is that something that either of you would ever do?
I do it all the time.
You still do it?
I really do, yeah. I mean, and it's not like by choice I decide I'm going out to dinner, honey. Good luck on your own out there. But if you leave work and you stop, I used to morning show. I'd be off work at 11 o'clock every day. I'd have lunch by myself. There was a Thai place in town, Lower Queen Anne. I used to go to all the time. They've since closed. And I would walk in every day all by myself. And I'd be the only guy in there eating alone. But I didn't care.
Just kind of decompressing? What was the motivation?
I didn't have to use good table manners. I didn't have to talk to people. I mean, talk to people while you're eating, that seems counterproductive to me. You get in there, I get it in, I'm gone, right?
Well, you must be fun on a date.
I'm a different guy. I'm a different beast, if I may, when I have a companion.
I'm trying to eat, wife.
Seriously.
Stop talking at me.
Leave me alone. Where were you sitting?
23 hours a day.
Yeah.
You got me. Right now, I'm trying to put food in my mouth.
I'll pay for the meal. Just shut it.
What part of the restaurant did you sit at?
They sat me right in the dead center at a two-top by myself.
That's so interesting.
They entertain everyone. They said, "Look at this
slob.
Weird guy."
Well, it's really not a fair representation because while I do go out and eat alone sometimes by myself, just out of circumstance and convenience, when I would go to this particular restaurant, which I'd gone to for like 30 some years, and I swear this is the weird thing about me. I never had anything but The one thing I had my first day because it was so good.
That's
I went there for 30 years and always had the garlic chicken. Had the Thai salad with peanut sauce, extra peanut sauce, boom.
Sounds
It
good.
got to the point after 15, 20 years of this, you walk in, I don't even have to talk to anybody. They'd sit me down, they'd start bringing me food. I'm in the chair 45 seconds, I got a salad in front of me. And people around me are like, who is this guy? He's the mayor of Lower Queen Anne?
Yeah.
What is this? You know?
Well, you know, people like routines.
Yeah. But it seems completely natural to me to go eat alone. I don't mind that at all.
Do you guys ever see movies alone?
You mentioned this in the pre-show, and I have never in my life gone to the movies alone.
I had never seen a movie by myself until I was in college, and then I went one time because you're in college alone. I mean, like, you know, you have friends and stuff, but you spend a lot of time by yourself. At least I did. But I went there was a big movie, and I love seeing movies. It's like one of my favorite things to do in the world. The experience of going into a theater, the whole thing. I love it. And I tried it by myself one time, and I went and sat by myself at a friend's recommendation. To
do it alone, not the movie.
because I had a buddy of mine who was my
Okay.
roommate at the time. I said, hey, you want to go see a movie? And he goes, no, I don't see movies with people. I said, that's weird. And he goes, no, it's the best. You really got to try it. So I went and tried it. And the experience was really great, actually sitting in a movie. Have you done this, Jacob?
So I've also had the opposite experience where you take someone to a movie that you might have enjoyed, but because now you've invited them and you're experiencing the movie through their eyes to some extent, and it ruins it for you, or you just don't enjoy it to the extent that you would.
Distracted.
I do like going to movies by myself. I have one other counterexample for you do have to be, I think, selective on what movie you choose. I went and saw the Barbie movie by myself during the peak of it, and I was sat between two different groups that are all like dressed up, and just the experience of them having such a social experience, and me by myself. That was the one time I didn't enjoy.
Plus, it was a really popular movie, so there's probably no seats barriers between you and other people.
Oh no, there's singles were all that was left. That's the perfect time to go alone.
You and all these women dressed in pink.
Which sounds like paradise. What's the upside of what are the upsides? What are the benefits of not? Because I always thought you go to the movies to have this community experience.
You still
of
have
shock or horror or comedy or laughter. I thought that was the upside of seeing a movie together.
You're still having that because of the other random strangers in the theater.
Okay. So that's not.
But the nice thing, like Jacob kind of mentioned a second ago, the nice thing is when you're seeing a movie by yourself with nobody else, and generally the only person I'll go and see a movie with would be my wife now, and I would never admit on the air that I like seeing a movie by myself more than with her.
Smart man.
You're able to get lost in it, I think, more because you are taking a little bit out of it because you are also being attentive to the person that you're with.
Yeah.
And it doesn't apply when you take your kids to movies because those are for like kids' movies. You're there for their experience. There is just something about being able to see. Like I remember going and seeing when I was in college. I saw some of the Hobbit movies.
Okay.
There's all these, like those movies you can get lost in.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a ton of fun. And so, or some of the Lord of the Rings, like just anything that you're a huge fan of. I don't know. It's just the experience. And
Cool.
also
I might try
you
it
can
sometime.
just like order food that you wouldn't normally order. Like you can shame eat anything and there's nobody to shame you. The whole experience is just a very selfish, ridiculous experience, but I highly recommend it.
It's funny because the story talks about concerts and festivals by yourself. Seems to me that'd be the last place I'd want to go alone. I get that there's plenty of people with shared musical tastes, shared interests, whatever it might be, and it's easy to make new friends and meet new people and have new conversations. But, again, to share that kind of thing with somebody seems like one of the main reasons to go.
The festival or the movie?
The festival.
Yeah.
I get it.
Try going and seeing a movie. I think you'll enjoy it. The only downside is like what happened to Jacob. If you do get seated next to somebody
who's wearing too much pink and smelling of
just
Barbie
anybody. No, I hate sitting next to anybody that I'm not
strangers
there with.
Just go to a matinee, not very well attended.
Yeah.
Sidebar: you ever been in a movie alone, the only person in a theater?
I think it's.
You mean like
almost
with another?
Well, I mean, I took the Truly Unpleasant Miss O'Neill to a movie, and we were the only two in the entire theater.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
I hated
Were you
it.
excited?
I hated it.
Why?
Because when I laughed and
It's
nobody
like a
else,
private viewing. It's fantastic.
It was off-putting.
If it's a comedy, I can understand how that's strange.
No one's it's just me.
Yeah.
Oh, there's nobody here. It's not just me. It's weird.
I went with my sons to see whatever the latest Despicable. I think it was Despicable Me 4 when it came out, and we went to this little theater in Monroe where I grew up going to movies. And
That was
so
like Too Short, Too Despicable. Is that what that one was?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Despicable Me
right.
9.
There was nobody else in the theater. It was me and
You're kidding
three
me.
of my sons, and we were just sitting there. the experience was phenomenal because we have this giant theater to ourselves.
Private home theater?
Yeah, and it was just like we went in a weird time of day, I think.
That's it. Yeah, you go matinee, midday.
Yeah, so it's fine.
Right.
I like it.
One time I was on a bus by myself. I really enjoyed just like, not that I did anything, but I felt like I could run around.
You change seats. Oh my God, change seats.
Have you ever seen folks on airplanes? Have you ever seen, they'll take pictures of.
I did it once. One time I was the only person on the plane except for the flight crew.
Did
I
you
was
worry?
the only guy.
You're like, oh my
no,
gosh.
it was the middle of COVID. It was the middle of COVID. I flew from Seattle to New York City on a red-eye flight.
You had a 6-hour flight on an empty plane?
Empty plane by myself.
That's a Twilight Zone episode.
It was bizarre. It was bizarre.
Did you still keep a mask on?
No. I didn't keep my pants on. It was great.
There you go. See, that's why.
That's why.
Don't do that when you go to the movie theater.
I can't wait to go to the movies
though.
alone.
No, they arrest people for that at the movie theater. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. Be right back.
The Closing Bell is brought to you by Trajan Wealth Management.
I can't wait till I get a little older.
The John Curley Show.
I get a little bit more hair in my ears.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
And I can be the really crotchety old guy that can say to people in restaurants,
"Why don't you get your kid off the phone?"
You could do that now.
No, I'm not there yet. I'm getting close to being eccentric. As my mom used to say, I don't make enough money to be eccentric. I'm just middle-class crazy right now.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube. Weekdays 3 to 7. And download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Have you stopped to think about how you feel today compared to, say, 10 years ago? Are you noticing changes? Less energy, slow recovery, trouble focusing, maybe even weight gain? What if you could turn back the clock and feel stronger, sharper, and more alive? At Longevity Medical Clinic, we help people do exactly that. For over 3 decades, we've been helping thousands of men and women find out what's really going on inside their bodies and take action to feel better and live longer. With advanced diagnostics and personalized hormone and supplement plans, we uncover what's been holding you back and show you how to optimize your health. Our patients often say, "Now I finally understand what's happening and what to do about it." Take the first step today. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com to schedule your free consultation. Longevity Medical Clinic. Feel better. Live longer. Let's do it together.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
You're miracle workers.
Don't know about that.
My drain was clogged.
Right.
You came in a jiffy.
And got right to work?
Now it's clear.
It's what we do.
Like I said, you're miracle workers.
Actually, we're plumbers.
Apollo plumbers.
You want to see some real miracle workers?
Huh?
Just take a look at Seattle Children's.
Sure.
They're all hope, care, and cure.
All true.
And together, we can help them.
How so?
Your service fee?
Yeah?
Apollo Plumbing is donating it.
To benefit Seattle Children's Hospital.
We're donating donating all our service fees.
All month.
To help Seattle Children's provide outstanding care and support research.
And ensure no child in need is ever turned away.
That's the goal.
Gotta love that.
Gotta love the work they do at Seattle Children's.
So I call, you come.
Apollo donates your service fee. All our service fees.
All month?
All the way to $20,000.
That's so Apollo Plumbing.
Always ready, right now.
You really are miracle workers.
Aren't we all?
Maybe so.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Homes are sitting, but the bottleneck's about to break. Set yourself up for success by working with the Novak team. Mike Novak guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If not, he sells it for free. Go to MeetTheNovaks.com. That's MeetTheNovaks, NOVAKS.com.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of 4 all-weather tires. You'll get year-round, all-weather performance, no matter what Mother Nature throws your way. And every tire comes with America's best tire warranty. 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Just another way you'll get more from less. Stop by a store or shop online at leschwab.com. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
Welcome back to the show. It's funny, last segment we ended the segment talking about you on a plane not wearing pants.
Not wearing pants. Yeah.
And now here we go
It was
with this
hypothetical.
segment. Yeah, right.
In a park, not wearing pants.
Yeah, right.
Right.
There's a nude beach in Seattle. It's called Denny Blaine Park. A judge, King County Superior Court judge, has just ruled that Seattle has done just enough this summer to curb behaviors. This is a Seattle Times story, had this. That neighbors were calling illegal and lewd, and these were illegal and lewd behaviors. These were disgusting acts that people were filmed doing.
Public sex acts, drug use.
Drugs use.
Terrible behavior. Dangerous behavior.
Dangerous behavior. Also just stuff that, theoretically this is a park that children could be at. I don't know why parents would bring children to a nude park, but theoretically it could happen.
I see, here's my thing. I'm with you. But the nudity is not...
never ever bring my kids
I wouldn't
to a
either,
nude
but it's not, I'm not everybody. Everybody's got their own life and decisions to make. The nudity's not the problem at this beach. In my view, it's just my opinion. The nudity's not
legal.
the problem.
It's legal.
Yeah. And even
problem for me.
And the city said that the Parks Department had done enough to curb the unwanted nuisance behavior
by putting up a sheet,
to putting up a partition to block the beauty of the beach. Why even go to the beach at this point? Just be naked in the Walmart parking lot like you always are. You block off the view of the water. Why go?
Ironically, they actually made it easier for these people to do the activity that they shouldn't be doing.
Exactly.
Because they put a barrier up
right? Just,
where they can now hide behind, and they have a lovely view. They have the only view of the water now, and they're shielded from the...
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this judge said that you have done at least enough through the winter time, and then I assume there will be another hearing where they will figure out if the city will have to do something extra to protect sane people from having to watch people do lewd acts.
The group
Am I reading this wrong?
I think you're reading it right. The group that wants it closed down, that say that the nudity and lewd behavior is continuing. They say that it's a fantasy. This report that they've issued is not based in reality. They say the anonymous complainants to the Parks Department,
they're saying
to the
that the
city,
lewd acts aren't happening?
They said no. They said they increased.
Oh, okay.
The complainants they say these petitions, as you mentioned, they're giving people cover for acting lewd and performing public sex acts and drug use in public.
More cover. Judge Samuel Chung, who in his decision, the city has, listen to this. I'm going to read this from Seattle Times because this doesn't make any sense to me. Chung's decision marked a victory for the city, which has pledged to address lewd behavior at the park while preserving its nude beach, a hub for, quote, safety and community cherished by Seattle's LGBTQ plus community, according to court filings by the city. That has nothing to do with it. Anybody doing lewd acts, get rid of the lewd acts. Why does that somehow make this a safer place for people? Why is the city willing to look the other way just because this might be a hub for a specific part of the community? Don't do the lewd acts. Nowhere. Yeah. If these are the people who want to be nude, God bless you. Whatever.
Exactly. We're of like mind on this.
But don't do the lewd things. Don't do the self-pleasuring and of other people things. And the city should not be turning a blind eye to this just because they find it uncomfortable to
deal with this particular community,
they don't like the
marginalized community.
If they don't want to deal with the people who are doing the bad thing, that's the city's problem. They still have to, even if they don't like making an arrest because maybe a person is part of a community, they still have to make an arrest. That's illegal.
You don't arrest them because they're LGBTQ+. You arrest them because they're performing lewd acts or drug use in public.
Who cares what they are? If they're
exactly right.
Pulling that out and doing things, then they need to be arrested.
And I said they called it fancy. I want to quote them directly from the article, make sure I get it right here. The neighbors cited the city's report as fiction supported by hearsay and opinion. In their October response, that was last year, nuisance behaviors had increased, not decreased, over the summer in the park. Nudists and sexual deviants felt they had free reign to break the law. Now, they're not conflating nudists and sexual deviants. They're saying that people to be fair to the people opposed to this park, they're saying nudists and sexual deviants continued to have free reign to break the law.
Sexual deviants are hiding amongst the nudists.
Fair enough. But what they're saying is that people are in the clothing required zone of the park without clothing. That's what they're saying, nudists. Yeah. And the sexual deviants and drug users are still anywhere they want to be. You know, partitions and segregation of clothing and no clothing isn't the problem. Those problems take care of themselves. Stop the drug use. Stop the public lewd
sexual
behavior.
Acts. Yes, absolutely. And I don't want to paint everybody with a broad brush.
No.
But I would say, if somebody's bringing their kids to a nude park, you've expressed that that's not something that you would do.
I wouldn't do that, but
I wouldn't do it.
It's not my world.
And if I saw somebody doing it, I would think less of them.
Interesting.
You would not?
No, because
I wouldn't question this parenting choice if you see kids around other naked, weird grandpas?
You said naked and weird. Naked is not necessarily weird to some people's perspective.
To be very weird.
That's fine. That's a personal choice, and I find
especially in the winter months. I was going to say, very cold out there.
They're letting nature take care of the problem for the next 6 months, aren't they? You go ahead and have November, December, start by 4.
Call me old-fashioned. I wouldn't bring my kids around naked strangers.
I've been in nudist parks before, and people bring small children, and the children are uninhibited, and it's wonderful.
I guess. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Protect your home and auto by bundling them with Progressive, and you'll have a little less to worry about. But we know you'll find other things to worry about. Like that text you just got from your boss. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Oh, hey, call me when you get a sec. Yeah, this is bad. Oh, well, at least you protected your home and auto with Progressive, so you don't have to worry about that. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You can count on the Seattle Times for trusted local news and information. The Seattle Times is one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country right here in the Pacific Northwest. Take a closer look with the Seattle Times. Dig into investigative journalism that holds those in power accountable. Discover a new perspective. Gain a deeper understanding. Learn something new about where we live. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
Are you in pain? Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hi, everybody. It's John Curley. Before you make that decision, I recommend you see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did, and it's been a game changer. My doctor took a look at my x-rays and said, well, looks like you need a whole new hip. And then he said, wait, how old are you? And I told him, and then he said, well, wait, you're too young for a hip. You're just going to have to, live with the pain. We'll see you in 3 years. It was horrible. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends and explore the lively nightlife scene. The dining district at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at bellevuecollection.com/dining district.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Day 21 of the government shutdown and no progress to end it. Government programs like the food assistance program SNAP are starting to be impacted. John Doman reports from a D.C. area food bank.
The Capital Area Food Bank planned to have free groceries for about 150 furloughed workers at a church in the Maryland suburbs, but several hundred more showed up.
In the DMV area, most people live paycheck to paycheck.
That's Pastor Oliver Carter here at No Limits Outreach Ministry.
The bills are still due.
Furloughed workers are frustrated.
I believe things will get harder before they get better.
Matt Bigler has more from San Francisco.
Governor Gavin Newsom is warning that federally funded CalFresh benefits could be delayed or even halted next month for some 5.5 million residents if Congress fails to reach a deal to end the government shutdown.
We haven't broken any records, but we're not necessarily breaking any new ground in terms of breakthroughs.
Nearly 2/3 of CalFresh recipients are children or the elderly.
A White House official says President Trump's Budapest meeting with Vladimir Putin is on hold. The NATO chief, meanwhile, is heading to Washington for a meeting with Trump. Vice President J.D. Vance is the latest administration official to travel to Israel in support of the peace plan for Gaza.
Right now, where I stand, I feel confident that we're going to be in a place where this peace lasts, where it's durable. And if Hamas doesn't cooperate, then as the President of the United States has said, Hamas is going to be obliterated.
Trump had warned Hamas that allies were offering to straighten the group out. Reporter Robert Berger in Jerusalem.
These nations and this international force, they want to go in as a peacekeeping force. They don't want to go in and disarm Hamas forcefully. That could get them buried in the Gaza quagmire, which is really the last thing these nations want to do. So I think President Trump trying to put a little pressure on Hamas to disarm peacefully.
Pro-Palestinian student activist Mahmoud Khalil appeared in a federal appeals court in Philadelphia as he battles deportation.
This case is not about Mahmoud Khalil. This case is about every single person in this country, whether they are
citizens or not. This case is about their freedom of speech and their ability to dissent and their ability to speak up, especially about Palestine, about the genocide that's happening.
Correspondent Michael George reports on why certain types of cancers are increasing.
Obesity-related cancer is on the rise worldwide among both younger and older adults. A study in the Annals of Internal Medicine looked at increasing cases of 13 types of cancers and found that obesity was primarily to blame. The rise in cases is happening among all adults age 20 and older.
On Wall Street today, stocks finished mixed. The Dow Jones Industrials were up 218 points. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
Coming up, a notorious sex offender is on the move again. That's after Nate Connors at the Real-Time Traffic Desk.
Thanks, Aaron. This report brought to you by the Tacoma Holiday Festival in South Tacoma. North 5, we're still seeing brief but heavy backup from South 72nd up past the mall. Olympia to Tacoma, 35 minutes. Going the other way, Tacoma to Olympia is wide open in just a half hour. Heading through Factoria, South 405 is solid from South Bellevue down to Coal Creek Parkway. Bellevue to Renton, right around 20 minutes. Heading into Seattle, starting to thicken up in the U District in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle, still right around a 20-minute drive. North 5 is now filling in from the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. Those lake bridges are wide open. We've got road work out in Poulsbo. It's on State Route 307 at Foss Road. You've got about a mile backup heading north. Heading south is just a brief backup there. And we just cleared our collision in Auburn, eastbound 18 at Auburn Black Diamond Road. No longer any backups. The Tacoma Holiday Festival, presented by Puyallup Chocolates, is October 23rd through the 26th at the Tacoma Dome. Buy tickets at holidaygiftShows.com. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. The so-called Spokane South Hill rapist is no longer living in Auburn. The mayor says Kevin Coe was relocated, as we hear from KIRO 7 TV's Dee Sun.
The mayor made this announcement, saying the city worked with multiple agencies to get Kevin Coe out of the city. The mayor shared her, quote, deep frustration last week over how this whole situation was handled, and now Coe will be once again living in Federal Way, according to the mayor.
And KIRO 7 reports Coe's new residence is about a block away from an elementary school. The mayor of Federal Way says he is confident Coe, now 78 years old, does not pose a serious public safety risk. A popular walking trail in South Seattle is now a murder scene. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports a 37-year-old man was gunned down yesterday in broad daylight.
The shooting happened on the Mountain to Sound Trail near Gulf Drive South and South Charles Street. Passers-by found the man down with a gunshot to the head just before 5 p.m. SPD Detective Eric Munoz says investigators are looking for witnesses.
If they heard any gunshots, if they heard any suspicious activity, call either 911 or that violent crimes tip line, 206-233-5000.
So far, police have no motive for the shooting and no suspect. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
King County judge says a nude beach at Seattle's Denny Blaine Park can stay open to the public for now. A judge ruled Seattle had done enough to curb lewd behavior at the park. A group of neighbors argues the park is a public nuisance. Their case will be heard next spring. Until then, the clothing optional section remains at the beach. Enjoy today's weather because the rest of October is about to be wet here in the Pacific Northwest.
University of Washington Atmospheric Sciences Professor Cliff Mass tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM, atmospheric rivers are headed our way.
So these atmospheric rivers are these plumes of water vapor that come from the subtropics. And we're going to get substantial rain during the next 10 days.
Late this week and into the weekend, British Columbia will get hit the hardest. Here in western Washington, we'll have moderate but steady rain through the end of next week. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Today's forecast brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Again, dry this afternoon. Tomorrow starts out dry, then we'll see a weak front roll through with at least some scattered showers for tomorrow evening. Right now, 57 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Aaron Granillo, hang out for a second. We're going to talk about Mariners here. And we talked to you a bunch leading up to last night, and I feel like we need to give Aaron just a second to maybe vent a little bit or to express how he's feeling now. We had a lot of your feelings leading up to.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling now after last night's loss? What does the future of the Mariners look like for you? And again, if you guys are just tuning in, this is not a sports show. This is not going to be completely about sports, but this is the biggest local story right now, so we're kind of trying to wrap our heads around it still. Aaron Granillo, how do you feel about the Mariners?
Well, I mean, it's hard to take away from the successes of the season. And now that they've lost, I can say it. I didn't think they really stood much of a chance against the Dodgers in the World Series if they were to make it. But I wanted one more win, man. I wanted one more win. And I think just the stunning, the shocking nature, the dramatic way that it came about, that hurts. That stings. A lot of seasons have stung in the past. This one feels different, of course, just because of the magnitude of the situation, the Game 7, the historic nature of us being so close. It hurts more than previous seasons, but ultimately, I'm still optimistic about the future of this team. They have the solid core, but at the same time, as I've said, nothing is guaranteed. I mean, one single injury can change your season. One single pitch, as we learned last night, can change your season. So it hurts because you knew you were so close. It was within your grasp. You were literally 8 outs away.
I know.
And then just to see it slip away like that.
The swing of the bat.
It's so much more painful than, if you go in and you just get cleaned out last night. They get 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 4 in the whatever it might be, because it's a powerful offense. But you play a hell of a game last night. You're up 3-1 in the 7th. That makes it hurt even worse. Like you said, that's surgical.
Holding them to that one run was unbelievable. After
and then
the
you've got
game.
some managerial decisions that a lot of people, and I know there's a lot of people second guessing Dan Wilson this morning. But how do you feel? You're probably the most knowledgeable Mariner fan I know.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Dan Wilson's handling of the club last night and
the
situations? Yeah, the decision. We said earlier, this may rise in Seattle sports lore to the pass at the 1 yard line in Super Bowl 49. How do you pitch to Springer? How do you not send him to first base? I mean, I don't know nothing from nothing. How do you pull Woo?
Yeah. So it's the eternal what if. Right? I mean, that's what makes the Seahawks decision so memorable in all the wrong ways. It's like, what if
still hurts to
you
this
gave
day.
the ball to Marshall and
the best running back?
Yeah.
You still are like,
and
what are they thinking? Like 10 years later?
We'll never know.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you this. In the moment, I was fine with them pulling Woo. Leadoff walk is not good. That leadoff walk, he was nowhere near the strike zone.
Right.
Then he gives up, the soft single up the middle that kind of finds a hole. You're like, okay, well, now he's going to, the guy's going to bunt him over.
Negative momentum, yeah.
Send him there. So, sorry, Brian, but you didn't guarantee yourself a chance to get out of that hole. If you're going to make the move, go with Munoz. Go with Munoz. Go with your best guy.
Even in the 7th.
Yes. Yes. What Dan did last night was, I think, how a manager would probably have done it more traditionally, right? But how we know the game is played today and how it's managed today, you saw. I mean, you watched playoff baseball this whole time. I mean, starters have really short leashes. You bring in
you're pulling starters into third.
Yeah, right. It's a different game. This is not the regular season.
Right.
Right. I mean, Bizzardo was great in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Bizzardo was great in the regular season. He hadn't lost a game all season. George Springer had also seen Bizzardo twice.
Bizzardo in this short series, yeah.
Bizzardo had also pitched the day before.
Yeah.
Munoz had 2 days of full rest. Munoz is your guy. You do not need to save him for the 9th inning because the 9th inning never came. So there's no guarantee that there will be a 9th inning.
Yeah.
In that moment, the most important outs are right then and there. You bring in your highest leverage guy, the guy who's proven that he can shut down an offense time and again. Now, that's not to say it would have worked out, man. Like,
Right.
there's no guarantee Munoz doesn't leave a hanging slider to Springer that he crushes out to left field, just like what happened.
To that end, here's a question for you. So let's say Aaron Granillo is managing the Mariners.
Yeah.
Do you pitch to Springer? And this is we never talk this much sports, but this is just, we may not get another chance to deep dive like this for another 25 years. Would you pitch to Springer and load the bases?
I think considering that Springer didn't look 100%, I'm fine with pitching to him. Because if you do load the bases, there's one out. And who's looming in the on-deck circle with that one out? It's Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Who won MVP for the series,
If you somehow, don't get the inning-ending double play, which is what you're hoping with the bases loaded, then you send Vlad up with the bases loaded. That's not a great position to be in either.
How gutsy, though. He walks another guy.
Yeah.
He walks Vlad and he walks somebody in.
That would be gutsy.
That would be gutsy, but they'd still only be they'd still be up a run.
Look, it's easy to question in hindsight. It's always easy to play manager in hindsight because the fan's never wrong, right? You're never wrong.
Should they?
And you know what? If Bizzardo came in and did his job and not leave a middle, a hanging
And we're celebrating today.
We're going to say, wow, Dan trusted his gut and it paid off.
Yeah, that's who got us to Game 7.
Did you guys feel like there's baseball's so crazy in the way that it just kind of like twists the knife in you a little bit, and to have Mr. 65 to have a front row to be waiting on deck felt like the most painful thing. Can you even imagine? He'd already hit a home run in that game. Cal had already done what he needed to do. He'd come alive. The momentum was shifting back. There was a man on. And then Julio strikes out on a really tough pitch to strike out on to end the season. And for that guy to end the season, it just all around, it just felt awful.
So that's the second what if that makes this game in particular so painful. It's because Julio swung at 4 balls. Yeah. Those were sliders that were not strikes. And you felt like he was taking that leap forward this season, right? Where he was laying off that pitch. And then you saw Julio revert back to his old ways that he was in the beginning of the season because he was trying to do too much. And that's what they say about baseball. You try to do too much, you're gonna mess up. Take the walk if you can, lay off it, man, and then just see the biggest power threat in baseball this year. A real MVP candidate come up to the plate with a chance.
With a chance.
With the tying run at second base at that point. Right?
Yeah.
Tying run base hit that point, ties your ball game up.
Yeah. That's the other.
You're still not likely to get out of it.
But that's the other what if.
There's a chance.
But again, it's that same feeling. It's like, well, at least we went down with our best chance.
Yeah.
Right?
Isn't this fun?
Because our best chance was Cal Raleigh.
It's not fun.
No,
our best chance.
This feels awful. I feel awful.
It is, but this heartbreak, right?
Mm-hmm.
This heartbreak is wonderful. The whole city cares. Nobody had to, nobody was idle about this. The whole city was on fire for this.
Yeah.
And this kind of pain that you're carrying is a lifetime. Lifetime.
Did you have to explain this to your kids? You got young kids like I do. This was their first experience, obviously, with a team losing.
So my 3-year-old has no idea what's going on.
Sure.
I'm giving her high fives after Julio's home run and Cal's home run, and she's like, "Hey!" I'm like, "All right, the high fives are done now, Connie. It's an important moment now." The 7-year-old
Springer's through and home where your kid comes over for a high five.
You're like, no. Yeah, all right. Now the 7-year-old, she's not into baseball.
Okay.
And so she was kind of being a downer earlier in the game. So I was like, honey, if you're not, yes.
Oh my.
Did you really?
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yes. She was like, I don't care about this game. I was like, honey, I love you right now. Not right now. Go upstairs if you're not going to be into this right now. And she did.
Boy.
And I was very nice.
That's so funny.
I was nice.
Doesn't sound like
And then honestly, after the game ended, she wrote me a note. Saying she regrets saying that I wasn't into it or whatever. I know it means a lot to you.
Sure, I rooted for the Blue Jays, Dad.
I have a very empathetic 7-year-old.
Beautiful, man.
Oh, that's so nice.
And I will tell you, after the game ended and I, had my moment of sulking and had a minute to myself, I went upstairs and read the kids' bedtime stories. That's because that that brought me some joy in that moment.
Treating the mighty
Some
Casey has struck out.
Needed joy.
Oh, buddy. Oh, Pam, it's all about. It's wonderful.
I had to explain. So my 10-year-old was super into it. My 8-year-old to a lesser extent, but he was still excited. He didn't feel it emotionally like my 10-year-old does, but my 10-year-old really, really loves to root for a winning team, which is why for many years he's been a Chiefs fan, which is ridiculous. But he was very, very into it. And then when they lost, he's the kind of fan who, like, he's in the 8th inning after, like, right after Springer's home run. He goes, I'm never going to watch the Mariners again. And I was just like, well, you're going to be thinking that for many, many years.
Yeah.
There's going to be other situations like this.
My man.
But he started getting emotional about it. And I'm trying to explain it to him, like, this is actually kind of why sports is great, because we're feeling all these complicated emotions, but like none of us are waking up tomorrow, hopefully, with any serious illnesses or sicknesses that we didn't start the game with. You know what I mean? Like, it's just pulling this emotion out of us, which is such a unique thing about sports. Like, you can really, really buy into the team and you can really feel it. It's like somebody giving you advice when you're young and you're like, Mom, why does this hurt so much after a breakup? And your mom might be like, well, because it was real, honey.
Yeah.
You really felt that because you really had real feelings. That's kind of a nice thing, to know that something was real.
Yeah. You dared to dream. You dared to hope. Now, here's where I'm going to bring it back to reality for a second, because it's 49 years, right? And you look at other franchises that have waited even longer, like I'm talking 108 years for the Chicago Cubs,
right.
86 years for the Boston Red Sox. You start to think, like, that happened. Like, that is plausible. And that's why I keep saying there are no guarantees in this game. I don't care how good this core is right now and how much I still truly do believe that they will get another shot at this, another bite at the apple. Like, I believe the next 4 to 5 years are going to be very good, very, very good for the Mariners. I think they'll be potentially back in this position next season.
Oh, my gosh.
But you know what? One fluke.
Right.
One swing.
Yeah.
One injury.
Hey, if Wu hadn't been hurt to start the series, who knows? Who knows?
Exactly.
Listen.
There could be another juggernaut in the American League next year that comes through and dominates the league, and then there goes your chance again.
Listen to this agony, the scream that was heard.
I know.
This was in the locker room. This is right after the game. They're talking to Brian Wu, and the reporter's asking him, like, how does this feel right now? And then you hear this, just this bellowing from the shower area, and we now know it was Rodriguez.
Having gone is further than any other team in franchise history.
Legacy is.
I mean, you think about how much we're all feeling it just as fans, and we're not in it every day. Like, when I was watching those guys, I turned to my wife at some point last night when it still looked like we were going to win the game. It's 3-1. The Mariners are in the dugout looking like they're having fun. They're all like, you know, I think it was right. Maybe it was right after Cal's homer. And I was just like, oh my gosh, can you imagine what it would be like to be one of these guys who is in the trenches for, I mean, how many games did they play at that point? 170 something.
Yeah.
How much they must be feeling it, even more than way more than we're feeling it as fans. And then you hear a scream like that, and it does make you feel like, all right, you don't want them to feel like they need to go out and you know, like, hit themselves on the back or anything, but you want to see, as fans, you want to see that they're feeling it, so that next year he doesn't swing at that, and maybe they find themselves in a different situation. And I totally agree with you. If they can sign the people that they need to sign, lock people down, Naylor's fantastic. I would love to see if he's a permanent part of the team, as well as other folks. Is Suarez locked down? He's not even locked
he's a
down.
free agent as well.
Okay. Yeah. Lock these guys down, and then make another run at it. They're a very good team. There's no reason why they can't.
Right. So, and this is where the optimism comes into play, because I look at, a season as part of this sort of ongoing rebuild that we're in, right? This is not the end of the Mariners' story. It's a really, really fun, exciting, dramatic chapter that just closed, but it's not the end of the book.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there will be another chapter, and that's next season, and that's the season after that. And you will learn, these characters in this book will learn from this past experience, and the next playoff that they're in, the lights won't feel quite as bright. The heartbeat might slow down a little bit next time for Julio in that situation. The pitcher won't throw the hanging slider in that situation. You have to believe that they will learn from this experience and only get better. And that's sort of the outlook that you have to have after a season like this. That was incredible. I mean, it was a successful season.
The most successful season in Mariner history.
Wanted one more win.
It
just wanted one more. Just to say, just so we can end this moniker of the only franchise to have never reached a World Series.
It's a great way to wrap it up. It's a perfect way to say it. I saw something similar over on Brock and Salk. Were they Jeff Passan, right?
Yeah, Jeff Passan, yeah.
He was on their show, and he said, this doesn't feel like the end for the Mariners. This feels like the beginning of something. And I mean, obviously, as every fan who wants to root them on and believe that that's true, you're like, yeah, you're right. This could be the beginning of something really special. And you look at these guys, they're young. Like Rodriguez, the numbers they were showing for him, nobody in MLB history has done what he has done. And he's 24, and he's a beast. He's giant. You look at the size of that guy's thighs.
Yeah, he passes the eye test for sure.
Just a muscle.
And he made so much progress, to your point, Aaron, about discipline and maturity in the second half, skipping the All-Star game.
Yeah.
You know, in the second half, he's the best player in baseball.
Yep.
And I think that scream, I think he was watching the at-bat in a replay. I think he realized that he swung at 4 balls.
Or, they say it was in the shower. Could have just been like really hot water. I don't know.
Could have been. Or cold.
Or cold.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I mean,
Toronto would do that. They would cut the hot water after the game.
The good news is you have Julio locked down through his prime years. Imagine Julio when he's 27, 28.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine that, man.
Unbelievable.
He's going to be great.
He's already great.
Now.
I know. He's got the potential to be like a 40 home run, 40 stolen base kind of guy, right? I mean, so that's the ceiling we're talking about.
Yeah.
And when you have that guy, you have a chance.
And you take steps like this year.
Yeah. And you build around guys like Cal and Julio, you have a chance. That's all you have. You have no guarantees. You have a chance.
Next year.
You have a chance.
Next year.
All right. And that's better than you can say, the doldrums of the Mariners of the seasons past. You knew going into seasons past you didn't have a shot.
Right. And look at the other rosters in baseball. We're in the topper percents of
Thank
the
you for
teams.
coming in there. I feel better
Sure.
now. I feel better. You feel better, Spike?
I feel much better.
Good.
I gotta write
Do you
some
feel
news
better?
now.
Wait till next year, we said.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
I can't wait till I get a little older.
The John Curley Show.
I get a little bit more hair in my ears.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
And I can be the really crotchety old guy that can say to people in restaurants,
Why don't you get your kid off the phone?
you can do that now. No, I'm not there yet. Getting close to being eccentric. So my mom used to say, I don't make enough money to be eccentric. I'm just middle-class crazy right now.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube. Weekdays 3 to 7. And download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options. and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300, 206-656-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
What if you had the smartest Wi-Fi? If you did, it'd be Xfinity, of course, and it'd come with their best state-of-the-art equipment. It would boost speeds to the devices that needed them most, prioritizing your most important connections, whether you were streaming, gaming, or gaming while pretending to work. And it would let you stream 4. That's right, 4 games on one screen. It would even power your mobile connection so you could bring faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds with you where you use it most. It would be proactive and fix problems before you knew you had them. Impressive, right? And it would have security features that protect you from threats at home and online. Kind of like a force field for your life. If you had the smartest Wi-Fi, well, everything would work together seamlessly to keep you connected, no matter what. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply.
Stacey Rost here from Seattle Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of. And then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, prescriptions. But imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate, noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle, yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target problem areas: waistline, face, neck, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. For your free consultation and $250 off, visit ProSculpt.com for powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men. It's ProSculpt.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
If you use carpool or toll lanes along SR 167 without a Good to Go account, you'll now receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. A Good to Go pass saves $2 on every toll. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. City of Auburn says federal immigration agents accessed its camera system without the city's permission. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha reports they tapped into the city's flock surveillance network.
The city of Auburn found out last night that at least one federal agency was also using the cameras. On Facebook, the city released a statement saying, quote, "The city of Auburn has not knowingly allowed, nor will we allow, direct access to our flock system by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, otherwise known as ICE, U.S. Border Patrol, or any other federal immigration enforcement agency."
City leaders say they've now shut off that national sharing feature, and they've also added monthly audits. Recent study warns the Pacific Northwest could soon face rolling blackouts starting next year. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi reports.
The blackouts are most likely to happen during an extended cold snap in a low water year, according to the study, which was done by regional utilities. Nearly 9,000 megawatts of new capacity are needed by 2030. The current projects will only account for about 3,000. As demand for electricity goes up, some power plants are being retired and new construction is not keeping up. Plus, the population continues to grow, as does the use of electric cars and air conditioning. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle City Council has slightly more money to work with than previously thought. The city's Jan Duris presented the October forecast this week.
Positive change for both 2025 and 2026 to the total of 12.1 million. That's less than 0.5% of the overall general fund forecast.
Well, Council President Sarah Nelson says she's cautiously optimistic, but in a statement says uncertainty remains in Seattle due to tariffs and also potential federal funding cuts. Gas prices, they are falling across the country. Washington drivers, meantime, are not seeing much relief. AAA says the national average for gas is now $3.05 for a gallon of regular. Prices in Washington have dropped slightly too, but still in the Seattle area, we are paying about $4.66 a gallon. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 2:33. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Home Comfort Alliance has the update. Olympia North 5 at Henderson Boulevard. A crash is partially blocking the off-ramp. Really not much of a backup here. Oddly enough, it's South 5 that is backed up from Pacific Avenue and Lacey to the scene. This is the only backup, though, between Tacoma and Olympia right now. It's going to take you 35 minutes to make this drive. South Tacoma North 5 at South 48. It's a military, it's a howitzer on the right shoulder, a military artillery. Soldiers are on scene. I don't know the backstory behind this, but here we are. There's a brief backup approaching the scene. As you can imagine, drivers are slowing down to check it out. Southbound 167, we're filling in between Algona and Sumner. South 5 is heavy, scattered backups from South Bellevue to the Renton Landing. Bellevue to Renton is up a bit to 25 minutes. And Linwood to Seattle, still a 20-minute drive. It is thick, South 5 from Northeast 45th down to I-90. Tired of uneven home heating and high energy bills? The Quilt ductless heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings. Visit homecomfortalliance.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunny skies today, highs in the upper 50s, low 60s. Come tomorrow, it'll be more cloudy and then some scattered showers for the afternoon. Right now, 57 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. Spike, I thought it would be fun, this segment, if we talked about two crazy crime stories.
Oh.
One locally, one international.
Okay.
Very French. The Louvre one. We're going to talk about the Louvre one here in just a minute. There's an interesting tidbit about the Louvre that we haven't gotten into yet, which we will discuss in a moment. But did you see that hitchhiker story that happened here locally?
Oh, my gosh, yes.
What in the heck? You can read about this at mynorthwest.com. I'm just going to read a little bit of this. This makes zero sense to me. And a totally relatable situation that I think almost anybody listening to would find themselves in. Somebody picked up some hitchhikers, which most of us who grew up in the era of scary movies was made aware that you never pick up a lone hitchhiker, especially one that's carrying a duffel bag because of obvious reasons.
Or wearing an orange jumpsuit. Common sense.
Absolutely. So we all understand that. But let's say you're driving down the road and you see a husband and a wife and then children also with them on the side of the road. My instinct, as I'm sure yours would be, I don't want to speak for you, but my instinct would be like, hey, you know what? If I had a big enough vehicle, now in this case it was 2 parents and 7 children, so I don't even know what kind of vehicle this guy was driving. 7 children, clearly some sort of a van. He stops and pulls over. This was in Sequim. He stops and pulls over and helps this family. Now you're picking up 9 people. That's
7. Right? Was it 7?
With
7 people, 5
7
kids?
Kids and 2
parents.
7
kids? No, my gosh.
Yeah. So with 7 children.
Okay. Sorry.
Most of us, I think, would probably try to help out. If I saw a family of 7.
What happened to your school bus, I'd ask?
Exactly. Unless it's a weird cult or something, which you don't know, but you assume it's not because it looks like a family. So listen to this. A 69-year-old victim was delivering for DoorDash when he saw a family walking along Highway 101 near Sequim. Deputies said he stopped to help and give the family a ride. Within minutes, a witness in a car behind them saw a struggle inside the vehicle. Then they saw the victim fall from the driver's side door. You can read about all this at mynorthwest.com. It's crazy. Clallam County Undersheriff Lorraine Shore said, All he knows is he stopped to pick this family up with the kids, and then he was beaten up and he was stabbed, and they stole his car. He suffered a wound to his neck. We don't know if he was stabbed or his neck sliced, but yeah, it was quite a lot of blood. So deputies identified this family as somebody who they was Port Angeles residents. They have 7 children. They had been contacted twice earlier in the day for a disturbance in Sequim, and then later the dad was arrested for reckless driving in Port Angeles before he was released. Then early Monday morning, approximately 4:57 a.m., Kitsap County Sheriff's Office reported locating the vehicle on a county roadway. Deputies found the vehicle parked in the middle of the road with its lights on, significant amount of blood, the aforementioned stabbing that happened. They arrested the parents. Kids are in protective custody. What happened? I feel like that clip from A Mighty Wind. What happened? Like, what? How is that possible that somebody gets arrested? You pull over to help a family and you end up getting stabbed in the neck?
Well, I've never heard anything like this in my life. I grew up in an era where you hitchhiked. I hitchhiked a lot as a kid.
Did you really?
Yes, as a teenager, yeah.
You weren't nervous about it?
It was the 70s.
I guess it was
what you did. It was a different time. I mean, maybe there was the weirdos were out there. There's just less of them, and you didn't hear about them in the news. Better news coverage today.
When did we stop picking up hitchhikers? Was it all serial killer related? That's what I thought
would think
was.
so. Yeah, well, especially here in the Great Northwest. And my wife was a teenager in the era of the Green River Killer.
Sure.
And you kids didn't hitchhike up here. It's a different story back on the East Coast. Yeah. And again, I come from a bygone era where people could be trusted.
Also, it's different with guys.
It's different with guys and with girls. Exactly.
Absolutely.
A family of 9.
Family of 9.
Who sees that coming? I mean, and here's a gentleman, 69-year-old gentleman out there trying to make ends meet, driving DoorDash.
Thinking he might.
Thinks, somebody's obviously a family with kids aged 9 through 6 months.
Yeah.
This is a family, someone in an emergency that needs some help, needs a helping hand.
Until they get stabbed. Until somebody stabs you.
It was a car. Yeah. He attacked the guy.
Crazy.
Assaulted the guy. Wounded the guy. Stole their car.
Both parents arrested for possession of a stolen vehicle and reckless endangerment, domestic
bloody
violence.
Knife in the father's pocket.
All 7 children, ages 6 months to 9 years old, were taken into protective custody. Just a tragic, awful story, but just like one of those ones that scratches your head, and you tell people later, you go like, I heard this crazy story. Somebody pulled over and helped a family of 9 and ended up getting stabbed. That's nuts.
The car stolen.
Yeah, thankfully the guy seems to be okay, so that's good. But
is proximity? Would you pick up somebody in the middle of nowhere? That's the other part of this, right?
Oh, because of
right near Sequim on Highway 101. It's isolated.
I'm actually out in Sequim quite a bit. I don't think it would cross my mind if I saw a family of 7 with a baby.
Okay, yeah, 6 months
old.
old.
6-month-old.
Yeah.
I would probably be like, they need help.
That's what I would think so too.
I'm going to help them.
I'd have the same reaction.
But guess what? Not anymore.
Yeah, no. I'm
see
right there with you.
I see a family hiking out there. I see a 6-month-old and a bunch of people, like a bunch of kids. I'm just going to remember this horrible stabbing story.
You're going to call 911.
Thanks a lot,
them
family.
Know someone's out there needs help. It ain't going to be me because you never know what you're going to come across on the road. And
maybe just call 911.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people should just do. Just call 911.
Sad times.
Say, hey, there's a big family out here that needs help. Get them a bus. All right.
What's the story from France? You said there's
new information. Let me move over to the Louvre real fast.
Yeah.
I was reading about this. It's fascinating. So we all know that those royal jewels, crown jewels, were stolen from the Louvre in a really brazen heist. Not the first time stuff has been stolen from the Louvre. In fact, this goes back a distance. But the last major heist at the Louvre that people really, really cared about was back in 1911 when the Mona Lisa was stolen. Have you heard the story?
No.
It's fascinating.
Mona Lisa, men have named you.
Also, Nat King Cole. Does it get any better?
So like
Is there anybody with a better voice in the history of man than Nat King Cole?
I don't think so.
Is it only 'cause you're lonely they have blamed you?
I think it's because he smoked. It's just something, there's like a raspiness to
Ooh,
it.
interesting.
It's nice. I don't recommend it, but he sounds great. Okay, so in 1911, listen to this. In 1911, there was a guy by the name of Vincenzo. Why can't I say that word?
Vincenzo.
Say it again.
Vincenzo. No relation.
Vincenzo Perugia. He was. He just walked on into the museum. The Mona Lisa was nice at the time in 1911. It was considered a masterpiece, but it was not the most famous item at the Louvre.
Really?
Yes.
It was just hanging on a wall, wasn't it?
Well, it was. It was just hanging on a wall. And he walks in. There's nobody around. It's not behind glass.
Those were simpler times. Picked up a family of 9.
I don't even know if they had glass in
Picked up a family of 9 on his way there. Hitchhiker.
He did. No.
Perfectly safe.
He walks in. He goes, that's a nice one. Obviously, he had a plan to steal it because he went to a pretty elaborate method to keep it safe. He takes it off of the wall in its frame, rolls it up, the canvas, sticks it in his coat, walks out the front door. 1911 again, mind you. Nobody knows it's missing for 24 hours because it's, again, not a famous painting at the time.
Wow.
It's a nice painting. Yeah. Everybody goes, it's a nice lady.
She's okay.
It's all right. Yeah. Something in her smile,
it's not
whatever.
A cherub, I don't know.
Yeah. So he then leaves. They can't find it for 2 years. It's in his tiny little awful apartment in Paris for 2 years. They still don't know why he stole it. They think maybe he was trying to repatriate it back to Italy.
Oh, wow. Wow.
He built a special trunk with the exact specifications of the frame so that he could keep it in this with a false-bottomed trunk in his room so that if anybody ever came and searched for it, they wouldn't find it.
Right. Wow.
Eventually, he tries to sell it, and somebody goes, hey, this looks a lot like the Mona Lisa. And because of the press that it garnered while it was missing over those 2 years, it became the most famous painting in the world. And then that started off, then it becomes the Mona Lisa. But only because somebody tried to steal it.
Wow.
Isn't that fascinating?
That is amazing.
So hopefully they get these jewels back, and if they do, maybe we'll care more about them than we did before. But I don't know that that's the case. They may never get them back. All right, we have a lot more coming up. We'll get your text messages next. Lots of fun stuff. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO News Radio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Cancer impacts so many families, including mine. Former Washington Husky Mario Bailey here. My mother was treated for cancer at UW Medicine. As devastating as cancer is, there is hope because the Cancer Vaccine Institute is developing vaccines to treat and prevent the deadliest cancers. Patients who received vaccines over 20 years ago are still alive today. Please join me and make a donation to the Cancer Vaccine Institute at local Safeway stores. Learn more at uwcvi.org.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Are you happy with how you're feeling these days? Are you slowing down physically or mentally? Ever wonder what your life will be like 10 to 15 years from now? Most of us don't really know how we're aging or if we can even do anything about it. But here's the truth. Knowledge is power, and that's exactly where we start at Longevity Medical Clinic. We run advanced diagnostics to find out what's really going on inside your body, and then we create a personalized hormone and health optimization plan designed specifically to help you live better starting now. Our patients are often amazed by what they discover in their blood work, and even more amazed at how quickly they start to feel like themselves again. This isn't guesswork, it's science, it's personal, and it works. Take the first step today. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com to schedule your free consultation. Longevity Medical Clinic. Feel better today and every day after that.
There is one real estate agent who's been helping KIRO listeners longer than anyone else, and that's Wes Jones with sellwithwes.com. Wes, you've helped KIRO listeners in good markets and more difficult ones. What do you think has been the secret to your success?
Experience has taught us that to outperform the market, we needed to do things differently from the status quo, that we needed to do more. Our exclusive system covers innovative marketing locally and internationally, leading to more eyeballs on your home, better listing prep for better showings, negotiation strategies that eliminate pesky buyer contingencies, and generate stronger offers. Through our exclusive client programs, our sellers enjoy an extraordinary marketing experience utilizing techniques a traditional agent cannot offer.
So if you want to sell your home faster, at a higher price, and with fewer contingencies, if you want more, visit sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com, a better way to sell your home.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves with Active Liver from New Nordic. Find Active Liver at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Amazon, or at newnordicusa.com.
Open enrollment for Medicare is underway. Are you ready? Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man here. Get organized now with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program. Order your free copy today at insurance.wa.gov.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. We got a ton of text messages, lots of Mariners responses. Let's dive right in. Jacob, you want to read some of these with us?
Oh, I forgot that I help with that.
You don't have to.
I can't.
If you feel like
I'm
you
happy
want
to.
Happy to have you.
Sure.
Need a moment to grab them up?
I'm ready. Oh, okay.
Go right ahead.
Obviously, Mariners' loss last night was the devastating big story today. John in the 360 offering some hope in the wake of this. The Supersonics lost to the Bullets in a 7-game series before winning the championship the next year.
There you go.
He's right. Joel in Big Lake says, fire Dan Wilson.
Doesn't feel fair to me. The guy almost got you to the World Series. He's been coach for exactly one full year. Right? He took over at the end of last season.
I've seen quite a few people saying they got there where they got as far as they did in spite of some bad moves by Dan Wilson. So, I mean, that's the beauty of Tuesday morning managing.
I like Dan Wilson.
I think
you give him another season.
Yeah.
And, just say, don't mess it up. And he seems like a good dude. Doug from Puyallup says, not walking Springer with first base open was insane. I agree with you, Doug. I do agree with you on that one.
360, more speculation on what could have improved things. Put Munoz in against the best batters.
Yeah.
Here's John and Stanwood. The Mariners never failed to disappoint. It just took longer this time.
Oh, that sucks.
John.
Nice. Oh. Chip her up, John. Come on. Feel good about life. Let's see. Mike and Edmund said, did Spike finally break and watch the Mariners, and that's why we lost, or did he continue to not watch the Mariners and prove himself wrong?
I actually bailed on not watching after game 4. After game 4. No, I watched game 5. I'm trying to remember back Friday night.
Game 5
I watched game 5 and they won. They won. So I'm like, okay, I have no control.
Yeah.
I finally realized superstitions are bunk.
Chris in Marysville Will this team stay together? Yeah, I think that's the big speculation.
Hopefully. Hope so. Let's see here. Solo experiences. We talked about things that people like to do on their own. Johnny in Mill Creek says seeing a movie solo is probably one of the most underrated things ever, and I cannot explain why. LOL. Wow. He's totally right. I don't think I fully put my finger on why it's such a good experience, but it is something that it's the opposite of what you think it would be. You think it would be weird to go and buy a single ticket and then go sit down. You think the people around you are going to be judging you, like, what's this weird guy doing in the theater by himself? Right. And some are, and rightly so. But it's also, it's just a good experience. So I would recommend just trying it once in your life.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Mike in Edmonds has a recommendation for you, Spike. Go see one battle after another. You'll have a good time. Or F1 if it's still in theaters. I do not think it is, but
One Battle After Another. That's the Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
That's correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And the F1. That's the Brad Pitt movie about racing, Formula 1 racing.
Yeah.
Tina in Seattle says, I used to go occasionally to movies by myself. You can choose the one that you're most interested in and focus more without chit-chat. I went to a few sci-fis with a friend, which were okay, but I'm not really into them. I was at a comedy where something happened that made me laugh. Nobody else laughed except the one guy somewhere else in the front laughing out loud. That made it seem even funnier.
And then they fell in love. They've been married for 30 years.
Wonderful.
No, that's not the case. He tried to talk to her and she shunned him because he's a
he was
single
in
guy
movies
in
by
the
himself.
theater.
It was weird. Weird.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan and Anacortes says, Jake, I think it's similar to when we used to look at the TV guide and look for a movie to watch, and you would call your friends and tell them some movie you've been waiting to see is out on regular TV. Even though you weren't together, you knew that you would be watching it at the same time. The next day you were at school and you could talk about the movie. Now we have streaming TV, and even today I feel an emptiness when I watch because thousands of people aren't watching it with me. Your thoughts? It's an interesting experience. TV Guide predates me. We did not have TV guides when I was a kid.
We had them.
I understand the idea.
Did you ever have because we still have some shows that we watch because that's when it's on, say a serial on HBO or something.
Like a Breaking Bad was something that you wanted to be able to talk about.
Monday morning, getting together. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was all we had when I was growing up. If you didn't see Welcome Back Kotter or Good Times, the next day at school, every kid was talking about it. You know? Yeah.
Well, there's still those shows existed when I was a kid as well. We had our TV shows that you had to watch. Like Home Improvement was a big one.
Right.
Had to know what was happening on Home Improvement.
Oh, that's so funny to think about. I didn't realize that was like appointment viewing.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
We didn't
or
used to be able to
TGIF.
watch things on your own schedule. That was never a case.
Yeah.
Do you know what TGIF is? Did you have that when you were
I was familiar with the phrase. Yeah, they were trying to revive it when I was a kid, but it didn't really take off.
Yeah. We work with a guy whose dad invented TGIF.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
So Patrick, who works here, his dad is a big time.
I mean, invented like the marketing concept of it.
No kidding.
Yeah. Well, he's a TV producer and produced a bunch of the shows that were on TGIF, and so he came up with it. So it worked because it was appointment viewing. So I know what you're talking about, Ryan. Thank you very much. All right, let's move over to, because we're very short on time here, let's move one last one on UW jobs. Goodfellas in 206 says, well, it's about time. This nation has denied true history, discriminated in many ways to minorities, and it should be the institutions of higher learning to set the record straight. Okay, Goodfellas. Thank you very much. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. Jacob, great job. Thank you for filling in. We're going to be back here tomorrow, so don't miss it. We'll see you then. John Curley's coming up next. Bye-bye.
The John Curley Show.
And the reason I love autumn the most, and I guess that's why I love to grow pumpkins,
weekdays 3 to 7,
is because it's nature telling you summer is over and soon it will be dark and it will be cold and there will be no light. And just before, nature says, here's a prize for you because we know you're going to go into hibernation. So here's orange and yellow and fiery colors everywhere. So this is our final gift to you.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, football fans, Steve Rabel here. You know what makes Washington State truly special? It's the people, the everyday champions who serve, care, and connect. This fall, your local credit union, WSECU, is proud to celebrate 4 of these inspiring individuals as part of Washington's Community Champions. Serving Washington since 1957, WSECU is the only credit union named a Forbes Best Credit Union 5 years in a row. Now it's your turn to get in the game. Nominate your hero today at mynorthwest.com/champion.
Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision.
If you're over 50 and you've been diagnosed with a cataract, or your vision is changing as you're developing an early cataract, you could be a perfect candidate for K2 Vision RLE.
It's inevitable. At some point, typically in your 60s or 70s, you'll have a dysfunctional lens that eventually becomes a cataract. To restore your vision, you will someday need a procedure such as refractive lens exchange.
The question is, are you done with glasses? Do you want to spend your good, active years hassling with changing prescriptions and needing readers?
K2 Vision RLE can give you great vision now, permanently, and you'll never develop that cataract. The procedure is quick and painless, and our state-of-the-art custom lens technologies give highly predictable outcomes.
K2 Vision surgeons have performed nearly 100,000 procedures. We know when RLE is right for you.
Find out. Schedule a free Zoom consultation at k2visionrle.com.
K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, "Buy low, sell high." There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with 0 investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Your best source for local news, KIRO News.